and course correct them. Okay, and so that's what I will be doing now. I will be talking on that. Okay. I want to share the screen. Where is the slide? Okay. Okay, so can you see? You can see it, right? Can you see it? Okay, you can see my screen. Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Right. So one of the ways that you can, like I said, you can start to recognize your money habits is also by taking a money quiz. Now, personally, I teach on the money archetypes, right? And the money archetypes is one of the easiest ways that I help my clients start to see or recognize habits, patterns, behaviors that are standing in the way. 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that. So the money archetypes are, one of the ways that I help, my clients see why they are the way that they are, see the patterns, the conditionings, and all of the things that are standing in their way around their finances. And I use the money archetype because it's what I was taught, it was what I used, what I got coached, mentored with, and it was created by Deborah Price. Now, the archetype, let me just give a very brief introduction on the archetype. The archetype is actually based on Carl Jung. Carl Jung is a psychoanalyst. It was based on Carl Jung's work on the archetypes, right? Where Carl Jung didn't talk about money. So it's not that Carl Jung created it. It was Deborah Price who created this particular archetypes and then related it to money. Okay, and what she taught me was that the archetype really is a part of the collective unconscious. So it's not your personality. So in essence, it doesn't mean that it's who you are. It's who you are, rather. It just only reveals where you are. So when I start to talk on the archetypes, I don't want for you to start to label yourself as this, as that. Rather, what I would like for you to do is see the patterns, see the traits, the characteristics that are showing up, and then start to ask yourself, where do I need to go from here? What do I need to do, or how do I move from here? Okay, so now these are the archetypes, the 8 archetypes: the innocent, the warrior, the victim, the martyr, and then the tyrant, the magician, the creator, artist. So I'll start with the innocent, and I want all of you to stay with me and listen. Okay, very interesting. One of the things that Carl Jung shared about in his archetype, he said, is the archetype really, right? They come from this reservoir of that, and that reservoir is where a lot of deep-seated beliefs that we have, they're being held, they're being stored. And so when you start to live your life, a lot of things are manifesting. If you don't become aware of those beliefs you're holding on to, those things will be manifesting in your life in different ways, and you will not know. You will just think that's how you were born, or you will just think those are prayer points you need to deal with, right? Those archetypes that that will be showing up, a lot of the characteristics I'll be listing out right now, they're just signs, they're symbols, they're patterns, they are the ways that you think, that you have inherited. And remember, I said that your money behaviors, your money patterns, everything about your money is not just you. It's also your upbringing, it's your environment, it's your DNA, it's your boss, your company, your society, your identity, your belief, everything about you as a person. Okay, so now the innocent. Now, who is the innocent? The innocent is that one person who doesn't want to deal with money, who doesn't want to see what money is like. Are you that person? That person that does not want to be responsible for financial decisions, money management. A lot of women are innocents, okay? A lot of women are innocents. They don't want to deal with money. All they want is that safety and that security. A lot of women want to be rescued. So they don't want to deal with their financial situation. There's a whole lot of sensitization coming up right now for women, saying to women, you need to gain financial literacy. You need to be bold enough, confident enough to start. And women are doing that. Women are standing up. Women are speaking up and leading and, taking up the front rows. Yet, this particular archetype is very much prevalent with women because biologically, we're designed to want safety. We're designed to want to be taken care of. We're the biggest nurturer, but we also want to feel nurtured by some strong hero, one Prince Charming somewhere. Are you an innocent? Because in marriage relationships, right, what happens is if you exhibit traits of this innocent, then you want to be, tendencies are that you're attracted to someone that would rescue you, some powerful person, some person richer than you are. And this is just how we are biologically, right? It's the way that we've been raised as women. We've been taught, a lot of women have been taught, especially if they are yet to become aware and develop themselves and develop or build their capacity. They've been taught that they're not supposed to be leaders. They're not supposed to take front rows. They're not supposed to be seen as assertive, right? They're supposed to be subservient, right? And so women are now drawn to powerful men, drawn to tyrants, okay? So now this personality, this money archetype, what it does is it leaves you in that childish state of wanting to be cared for. So you then become so trusting. You can't make decisions. You can't make investment decisions. And even when the opportunity to make those decisions come, you can't take them because you don't trust your financial advisor. You are waiting for one Prince Charming, one angel out there to come and help you start that business, to come and help you make that investment decision. Very quickly, I'll move to the second one. Now, the second one is a victim. Now, who is a victim? As I share on the characteristics of these archetypes, it's for you to start to recognize the ones that relate to you so you can see where you need to build your capacity from. The victim, a lot of things have happened to people that are victims, right? They may have been abused, they may have been betrayed, they have suffered some great loss or something. But the key thing to note with victims is they tend to live in the past. And so what happens is, if you are a victim or you still want to stay in that victim mode, then you don't want to take responsibility for your financial situation. But some victims have perfected the art, okay? They know how to make it very profitable. They know how to make it very profitable. They leverage on what has happened to them and to see how they can capitalize on it. So you find victims, they've mastered the art of sounding pitiable, sounding very convincing. So when things that they're supposed to do for themselves, because life has happened, a lot of things have happened, they think that they don't have the capacity to build up again. They think if you want to build your strength, then maybe you should follow Coach Eden a lot. Then you would know what strength is. Being a victim is not really a good state to stay because what happens is you are losing your power. You are handing your power over to someone else. You are saying life has happened to me, but I'm not willing to move. So you are the actor, the director, the producer of your own movie, your own life movie, the things that have happened in your life. Everybody knows that victims have been abused. Everybody knows that they've suffered. But the problem is that they don't want to process that pain and move from that pain. So they want to keep looking for that one person that will give them money, rescue them, pay for their bills, take care of them. And so they stay in that sense of helplessness, hopelessness, restlessness, resentment, stay in that state, stay in that highly emotional state, consistently unforgiving. Are you a victim? Does any of these traits describe you? Now let's move to the warrior. But before I go, if one of the things I want to point out is between the victim is you find that there are lots of diseases that come up that you don't realize, and that's because of your emotional state. You're prone to, as a victim, you stay in that victim mode, victim archetype, you're prone to depression, you're prone to autoimmune diseases, and your immunity system starts to fight itself. Okay, and these are things that are caused by resentment, unforgiveness, not letting go, low back pain, all those sorts of things, because you stay in that state of dwelling on the things that you have lost. Now, let's move to warrior. Now, this particular archetype is the ultimate archetype. This is where, we want to thrive at. This is where we want to get to. Okay, we want to take charge. We want to become goal-oriented. We don't want to sabotage our goals. We want to set goals and achieve those goals. We want to be successful in business. We want to be focused. We want to be decisive. We want to be purposeful. We want to be intentional, right? We want to say, okay, these things have happened, but yes, I'm ready to take charge of my life. We want to make money. We want to become financially free. We want to recognize the money habits that are sabotaging us and click them, right? Now, who are warriors? Warriors are investors. Warriors are focused. They're decisive. They're in control. Warriors are in charge. Warriors do their meditation, mindfulness. They're aware. They're alive, right? Warriors remember that there's something called burnout. Warriors don't just get. They follow their goals. They set the time. Warriors understand that our lives are in circle. Everybody needs a bit of a warrior inside of them. Everyone needs a bit of a warrior inside of them. Are you a warrior? Do you need to develop? Do you need to transit from moving from an innocent to a victim, from an innocent or a victim to a warrior? What do you need? Are you willing to step back and recognize your life realities, utilize the learnings from your life experiences, see what it has to teach you, and then start to run from there? Are you ready to recognize the opportunities that you have for growth? As a warrior, you're driven, you're competitive, you are financially successful. Are you a warrior? Do you need what are the habits you need to drop to start to become a warrior? Okay, now this is the fool. Many people are afraid of being called the fool. But the funny thing is, the fool is not the fool that you know, but it just has traits of a fool, right? What it means here is that the fool, right, is that archetype that I think everybody should have elements of. Reason being, if you're going to start a business, then you have to have some element of confidence. You have to have some elements of risk tolerance inside of you. And so if you don't have traits of a fool, or that blend, that balance, okay, how do you start a business if you don't love risk? And this is where the archetype of a fool comes in. The fool, right, is relatively fearless. Look at the lady. She's willing to take on the world. And that's how a fool archetype is. They're impulsive. So if you find yourself making impulsive financial decisions, just know this now, that you are playing out traits of a fool archetype. If you find yourself being enthusiastic in the moment and making decisions without thinking through, without asking for financial support or calling your team of elders and running your ideas through them, then you lack discipline. And that is the archetype of a fool. If you find yourself overtly generous or restless around your finances, that is the archetype of a fool. And what do you need to do? You need to slow down. You need to develop patience. You need to slow down the neural pathway for your decision making, how you think. Okay, you need to practice what they call 24 hours rule, where you say, okay, I know this buying decision, I need to make this pay this money, or I need to make this purchase. But however, let me wait 24 hours. Let me wait till tomorrow and see how I feel. Let me wait and speak to someone else about it to see. Because a fool, right, is a gambler by nature. The fool archetype is that one person who would give 100% of that money and not tell his wife or his family, or not tell that one person that is special at home that, oh, I have deposited, or I have done a bet with this, our money, or I have dipped my hands into our 401k. How do you guys call it? 401k, right? That's how you guys call it. I have dipped my hands inside, and that's the fool archetype. Because somebody has promised him or her 140% return on investment somewhere. That's the archetype of a fool. The archetype of a fool will not read the fine prints. No, he's driven by the moment. But the beautiful thing about the fool is the fool has a combination of the innocent and the warrior. I want you to pay attention to the traits of each of these archetypes, because this is a psychologically driven archetype. It's a blend of neuroscience, neuroeconomics, right? And it shows who we are as people. It shows our traits, how we relate, how it qualifies how we relate with money, how we make our financing decisions. And it reflects our financial relationship our spiritual relationship, and our psychological and physiological relationship with money, right? So if you are if you have elements of the Fool, then most likely you make very irrational decisions, irrational judgments. You have difficulties seeing the truth. So even when the truth is there, because of that gambling nature inside of you, you can't allow yourself to no. Because you have to exhibit that trait of that. You have to be impulsive now. You are driven by adrenaline. That is the trait of the Fool. You're restless. Okay. Now let's move to. Did I miss? Okay, no, I didn't. Let's talk on the creator artist. Now, did I miss the martyr? Oh, I think I missed the martyr. Oh, so I missed the martyr. Oh, sorry about that. So let me talk on the martyr before I move to the creator artist. I don't know how I missed that slide, but I just realized that there's an archetype missing. Now, the martyr, right? The martyr, I like to call the martyr the giver's gang. So if you are the firstborn in your family, please put in the chat, I am the firstborn in my family, because then you are a giver. You are a helper. You are blessed and highly favored, because the responsibilities, every decision in your family, especially if you're from Nigeria, comes from you, is from you, or revolves around you, right? But then even if you're not the firstborn, if you are the most successful, the one that God has blessed, the chosen one, or if you are a philanthropist, you like to give, this is your archetype. I'm talking to you. If you haven't developed yourself, though, of course, there are exceptions to these things, right? But what is it about the martyr that I want to? I apologize that the martyr isn't showing here. I may have deleted the slides when I was working on it. But yes, if you are the martyr, what is it about you? You're busy taking care of other people's needs. And you do that to a point where you neglect your own. Let me share this story. I find that, sometimes many of my clients are older women, right? And so this particular woman she was going to retire at the time. I think it was 3 years ago. She was going to retire. She had worked for 35 years and she was turning 60, or she had turned 60 by the time she came to me. And she said that she had been working for 11 children. I think she has 5 children and 6 children, 5 children and 6 siblings or 5 siblings. And she's just about to start working for her own retirement. It wasn't until she retired, she realized that she had not worked for her own old age. She was working for, and now all those ones, they're building their lives. They don't even have access to even give her. So now is the time for her to start working. And she's feeling a lot of resentment. She's feeling like everyone has neglected her now. Nobody's concerned. And these are the sorts of things that happen when we give to a point where it threatens our own financial future. We give to a point where we're sabotaging our own financial journey, right? Now, what is very particular about the martyr? The martyr, at the time that they are giving or they are spending the money, they're not conscious of their own suffering. Why? Because they're natured or they consider themselves to be self-sacrificing, right? And the reason I said firstborn, join me here, is because there's this biological response or cultural responsibility that is being bestowed on firstborn to say, okay, it's now we have passed the baton to you. You need to now go and take over the younger ones. Or some of the financially successful siblings might just say, I want to deal with all those lack that we didn't have. I want my siblings not to experience what I experienced. Or I want to correct the mistakes of the past. We didn't go to school, so I want my children, I want my friends, I want my brothers. Those sorts of financial responsibility that you put on yourself. And then you now get to a point where you now need support and nobody's there to help you. You find yourself giving generously. But what you don't realize is at some point you start to experience resentment. The minute you start experiencing resentment, that is the martyr archetype right there. Because you're giving, but a lot of your giving has strings attached to them. A lot of them, what's the adjective for this now? It's beyond resentment. What is that adjective? Entitlement, right? I think entitlement is a good word for that. Because what happens is you don't define that boundary. So you give to that point where you start to ask yourself, when is it going to be my turn? Can someone put this in the chat for me? When will it be my turn? And so what you need to do is to learn the art of receiving. Do you know that many of you givers don't know how to receive? And a lot of this giving is tied to conditioning. You are taught that givers never lack. God blesses and God loves a cheerful giver. And there's nothing wrong with giving, but you also want to give, and not to the point where you are sabotaging things that are important to you. Okay? So you've been conditioned to think that givers never lack. And so you give, but you don't know the art, or you have not learned the art of receiving. There is an art of receiving, and it's a grace to receive. You see, there's I think it was Deepak Chopra who wrote something on the art of giving and receiving. I thought about that in one of my master classes. It's an art, A-R-T, because that's how the universe flows, right? Back and forth, give and take. But martyr archetypes haven't developed themselves to learn that art, so they don't know how to be. So they're consistently, or if you are a martyr, you are consistently rescuing your child, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your friend, your partner, your grandparents, your cousins, your staff. You are rescuing people, chief rescuer, chief rescue officer, from one circumstance, one situation, one life event or the other. But the thing is, what people don't know is that the martyr don't always let go of what they give. And so they feel let down when people, or the people they've given to, don't meet their expectations. So they create expectations in their minds. Even the people that they are creating the expectations for or of, they don't know it. They don't know. You're just on your own. You're attached to your own suffering. Okay? And in Nigeria, where we don't know what's happening with the other person, we just want to collect from them. We just want to collect and go, take and go, take and go, take a touch and go, touch and go. You'll just be there. So yes, if you are a martyr, you find yourself saying, I sacrifice everything for everybody. That is you. You are controlling. You don't know. Oh yes, martyrs also give so that they can feel in control. That sense of validation that giving brings, that sense of control, that sense of fulfillment, achievement, that is a martyr archetype. The martyr is a caretaker. The martyr, right, is a passive aggressor. You don't see it. You only see the taker. You just see you just only see the taking. You don't see the other aspect of what the martyr is going through, right? Even though one of the good sides of a martyr is they're very compassionate. If you're lucky to find a martyr, you don't need to talk too much stories. They credit your account. Oh, yes. But yes, what they're suffering is repressed anger, is tension, is migraine. They're finding it difficult to ask for help. They're finding it difficult to ask for help because they feel that people should see their own suffering and help them. Nobody's going to see your suffering if you don't ask. Not in today's Nigeria, except, of course, you are in a community where they care. You know, people run away. People don't want to help the martyr because they label them as self-sufficient. And so people desert them when it comes to solving personal problems. And so they find themselves alone. A lot of the martyrs even find that people run away from them. And what happens to them is they give to a point where they don't have enough to take care of themselves. Now, this is the reason I'm spending so much time on the martyr, is because this is the most prevalent archetype that a lot of people suffer from. I will come to the chat, and I encourage you to put these archetypes in the chat if any of this resonates with you. These archetypes reveal why you are the way that you are with money. These archetypes reveal your money manifestations. These archetypes reveal your money habits. Absolutely. So yes, if there are things in the chat, Crystal, you can, if there are questions as well, you can put them together, or if there are observations, you can put them together so that when Coach Eden comes up, she can talk around them, right? Now, I've talked on the martyr, so I think the creator artist. Now, the creator artist, who is a creator artist? These creator artists, they are plenty, but they are undertone. I have traits of the creator artist inside of me. Now, what is key to note with the creator artist is they have a love-hate relationship with money. Let me explain. We like money, right? but we don't want people to know that we like money. We don't want to be associated with the beautiful things that money. We want, so we want to carry a Gucci handbag, but we don't want people to know it's Gucci. But we want to carry Gucci. We want LV, but we don't want the LV embossed on it, right? Because we're authentic, we're unique, we're spiritual people, right? That is a creator artist. We're attached to our spirituality. We're attached to our artistic work. We're attached to who we are. We want to feel authentic, but we don't want to also at the same time look or sound materialistic. But what happens is we often, or creator artists often find that they experience some sort of misalignment with their spirituality and with money, or their spiritual life and their materialistic life. So they find it very difficult living in the material world and dealing with money alongside their spirituality. They love money for the things money can buy, but they have little desire to participate in the material world. Now, what that does is you find that you are so good, but you can't charge for your services. You are so sound, but you can't ask for. The Lord has done it for you. You are fully anointed, but you don't know how to translate that to money. Or you are fully anointed. You don't want money to stand in the way of your anointing, so you don't charge, and then you can't you're not earning enough to show off the glory of that anointing. That love-hate relationship, you are consistently afraid of being inauthentic with yourself. You are so good with singing, so good with teaching, so good with coaching, or so good with finances or managing people's accounts, but something inside of you, and that is where your money beliefs come in. That is where your financial self-esteem, your upbringing, everything I have talked about around your money mindset comes in. So you then sit in the quietness of your room and despise those people that are living in the material world because you're unable to charge your worth. So you under-earn yourself. You under-earn your worth, your capacity. You don't speak up or stand up for yourself in the workplace because there's something inside of you that is not on board with the concept of earning enough or earning more. There's just something, and that's what you need to deal with. Because this is where issues like under-earning come in. This is where issues like low self-esteem come in. This is where financial self-esteem, financial, what's that word? Stress, all those things that they say, this is where it comes in for you. You're at that point where, you know what you want, but you're just passive about money. Money is energy. The way money flows, the energy of money in and out of your life is the flow, right? How is it coming in? The artistic work that you know, what you know how to do best is you. Now, what training do you need? How do you need to develop yourself? What capacity do you need to build? Sometimes what you need is a coach or a therapist or a counselor or more learning to help somebody to build up, to show up your work, to blow up your capacity, to help you build belief, build the muscle of belief in yourself so that you can recognize that you are worth it. You're worth charging. I'm looking for a book. Earn what you deserve. So I have quite a few books on earning, right? Earn what you deserve. It's not this one is not spiritual something. No, it is that conflict between you and yourself, you and your spirituality. It's that conflict, so it's something that you need to become, because people with this archetype so you can be blessed but you're broke. You can even be stinkingly rich, but because of the conflict of the idea of wealth, you might not find happiness. And then you might experience conflict between your goals and money. You need money to achieve even the goals that you're setting for yourself. You need money to facilitate it. You need money in your relationships, right? You need money in your marriage. You need money to feel even your emotions, your personal grooming. You need money. It's expensive these days to go to spa, to have massages. It's expensive. You need money to I want to be able to buy tickets for my friends to go on vacations. You need money for that. How do I create experiences if I don't respect money, earn money, and respect it? If I don't call it, if I don't work up the energy of money, Okay, and that is the archetype of the creator artist. They have a love-hate relationship with money. They're detached from money. And that detachment is what they need to pay attention to. Okay. So the tyrant now. The tyrant is a bully. Everybody knows what a tyrant is. So, but then this tyrant, oh, you see the flip side of this tyrant is the innocent and the victims. They find the tyrant very attractive, because they feel like the tyrants are in charge. The tyrants take control, and the tyrants are able to, cover up their own inefficiencies, right? So the tyrant uses money to manipulate. So I'm going to quickly run through the last two archetypes, okay? The tyrant uses money to manipulate and control people, circumstances, events, right? Even though a lot of the times they're not at peace with themselves, but they are highly overachievers. Okay, the tyrants are, you know them now, or those your very rich government officials or those bosses in the office. We have tyrants everywhere. Okay, and many of us even have traces of tyrants inside of us. But the greatest fear of a tyrant is loss of control, and it's that fear that drives a lot of the behaviors that they manifest. Okay, so the tyrants, I put the tyrant is controlling, manipulative, oppressive. The tyrant is aggressive. The tyrant is the boss. The tyrant is that official. And tyrants make very good positions. Most of your presidents, most of your high achievers, billionaires, most of them, you see them around you, but you don't recognize them. You don't know that they're tyrants. But that is a trait also that you some people have that makes them very successful. Okay, but of course, the same way they have success, the same way they also experience toxicity in their relationships. They're narcissistic, they're anxious, they don't trust people, and all those things. Now, this is the last archetype, and it's the magician. This is the ideal money archetype. This is, at this point, you have transformed your life, your not just your financial life, your other areas of your life. You're able to manifest your financial reality. You have come to terms with your past. So your past you are now what they call, you are now utilizing the learnings from all your experiences, right? This archetype is where you need to build to become active in your life. It's the place where you need to grow from, okay? And to get to this particular archetype, you need to also work on the ones that you have a low score on. I'm just pressed for time right now, but I wanted to just quickly talk on the archetypes. So I'm going to stop sharing and ask every one of you to tell me what stood out for you and what archetype spoke to you the most. Which of this archetype spoke to you the most? Which archetype do you see yourself building from or using more of? I want you to put in the chat for me which of this archetype spoke to you. So I'm going to stop sharing so I can see in the chat. Oh, my chat isn't coming up. Okay. Which of these archetypes spoke to you? Which of them? Martyr. Okay, when will it be? I'm just catching up on the chat. Which of this archetype? The warrior. Thank you. The warrior, the magician, the martyr, the fool, and the warrior, the creator. The martyr and the warrior. Thank you so much. So which of these archetypes spoke? Keep it coming. Which of these archetypes spoke to you? And where do you think you need to move from? Where do you think you need to move from? Because for you to make better money habits, whether it is investing in terms of how to invest, how to build wealth, how to save for retirement, or if it's your credit management, how to manage your credit, build strong credit history. For those of you that live in a credit society, or is it savings? For those of us here that there are lots of saving apps here and there. Is it building your savings? Is it learning how to budget? Is it learning from money experts? Joining communities where there are financial advisors or is it managing your impulsivity, right? Those types of expenses that you take for your immediate gratification, right? What I mean is, some of you that there's a sale right now, even though there's no need or there's no use for that item, you jump into it, you buy that snack, you buy that bag or that gadget or that makeup how many lipsticks do we really need as women at a point in time? You can use that 24-hour rules that I said, right? Or what better money habits do you think most of these archetypes are going to help you understanding or recognizing the patterns? Is it checking your accounts daily so that you can avoid, charges? You can see where you are spending too much money. Is it the coffee that you take? Is it the lunch, the type of lunch you eat? What are all those things? Or is it debts? For some of you here in Nigeria, taking money from a lot of loan apps, or is it those of you that have too many credit card debts in in your country or wherever it is? You can use, and I'm not saying that debts are not good. Debts are very good. You can use debts to achieve a lot of your goals, but it's prioritizing those debts. It's how you place them, how you take them, because mismanaging those debts would lead you to these money habits that I talked about, and these money habits can also affect your health. So what patterns of behaviors, when it comes to what are your own patterns? Fumilayo says, I need to move from the matter. Shamina says, is there money healing therapy? Ataman says, I need to learn to invest. What are your own deepest fears and concerns when it comes to money? I need to hand over now to Crystal and Kai. If you have more questions on how these things then come through, please drop them in the chat. I will be in the chat. I'm very conscious about the time. Thank you so much for extending the time for me.
Thank you so much, Ms. Patience Carrie. I don't know if anybody is still sitting down. If you are sitting down, that means your butt is glued to your seat like me, and your eyes are glued to the screen, because look at my notes. I have like 4 or 5 pages of notes just from you speaking, and you dissected it. It's like, those fears we have about money. You went in deep, and then, you took the knife and you really took out the cancer for us. If you are not yet financially literate by just going through this masterclass, I don't know when you will be financially literate, because she has even taught us. And see, as a recovering martyr, this 24-hour rule you talked about, I use it because I realized I was very impulsive, and it's how I got married, and I started working on it. And I told myself that, see, if I can wait 1 to 3 days and I still don't want that thing, then I don't need it. So most times, if you look at my Amazon carts, there are things there that I have just put there. Some of them are spent a year and I never bought them because I'm working on it. So it is okay to be working on it, but you cannot navigate yourself to a new location if you don't know where you are coming from. So this is you knowing where you are coming from and then knowing what you need to work on. So Ms. Patience, thank you very, very much. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. We'll take a few of them very, very quickly before we bring up the sage. You see the way I said her name, the sage. So please put your questions in the chat, and Ms. Patience to take them very quickly. Someone said, let me start reading them out. Shamina said, you touched our souls, the actual heart of the matter. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Miriam says, I need to do a reflection on my income versus expenditure. Thank you. And from what you said about the creator, the creator, let me look at my notes, because I was writing too fast for even my own brain. The creator artist is that, those are the kind of people that their expenses are always more than their income. So what Miriam is saying here is very true. My husband used to say something. He said, I don't look to reduce my expenses. I look to increase my income. And I think God just blessed me with that man, because he is chief strategist when it comes to increasing income. So when I have gone in my creator mode and I have created wahala, he will now come in and say, so when I have these grand business ideas, he'll be like, oh yeah, come. How do you want to achieve this? And that kind of balances me. It might not be your husband. Look for somebody that will be an accountability partner when it comes to these things, that will be able to help you balance it out and help you to draw you back when you're being impulsive or when you're being the fool. But don't look for a tyrant. Don't look for a tyrant. Thank you so much, Miss Patience. Now I have words to use, especially my kids are here. They are also learning, because I drag them in. All of us must succeed when it comes to money matters. Oh, yes. So Chioma has posted the money quiz from your website. Thank you very much for that. And then can one have 2 or more different money archetypes? And there's a second question. So that was by Xiomi. So I know your parents did not name you Zayomi. Can you please change your name so that we can get to know you? And then Tayo said, how can I change from the innocent to the warrior archetype? Miss Patience, please, you can answer the question.
Crystal, sorry, I will jump in now. I know it's not, sorry, I'm breaking this flow, but let me jump in to say thank you to Patience. I've been feeling like that. I've been feeling like that person that bragged to their family that you will like my boyfriend when you meet him. I'm swearing. So you know how that when the daddy finally meets him and you're hovering at the table, hoping that they like him and they absolutely love him. So I wanted to say thank you. We've been connected as coaches for over 3 years, and I'm glad that we're able to totally last minute. That's how you see how committed we are to you. Probably 1 week ago, it was just me on the flyer, and I kept hearing in my spirit, I need to do this with patience. And that's what I tell people about relationship currency. I second everything she said. Everything is not money. The things that money can buy are powerful, but your first default should not be, I don't have money. Relationship currency is even more powerful than money. I just picked up a call on Wednesday and said, Pat, I want you to do. She said, no problem. And that's also to honor my team. So they had to roll up the flyer and do the bio in less than 24 minutes, 24 hours rather. So thank you. You delivered excellently. I took notes. You know, I'm not convinced now. When it comes to knowledge, you didn't see me with convener energy. That energy is a trap. Convener energy. Then you come and stay there. No, I had my notes. That's why I wanted you to go first. So I'm going to hand back to Krista, but I wanted to say thank you. So I think we can take 2 questions, right? And every other thing, we can now plan on doing something together. Someone is asking for a healing, which is good. We are both integrative coaches. I'm more into the relationship and the emotional healing, and she's finance, even though I work with finance, but that's not the first. So we can put together something for anyone who is interested. Caveat, it will not be free, because again, after today, you don't want everything to be free. It's dangerous to get addicted to free. It's not normal. I don't even want to encourage it. If we put together a healing finance for a few people who are interested, let's see if you can roll out a link by the time I'm finishing. It will be investment, because this is night her time, and don't go to bed. Please don't go to bed. There's no replay. We're not sharing the replay. So please go and share this link with everyone, because this is very important. At the heart of what I do, I want to empower women always, and men too, with 3 things. Prayer. I believe that any woman who can pray can recondition any environment. So my responsibility and desire and passion is that women have spiritual intelligence, so that they know they are never permanently helpless. Number 2, prosperity, that you give yourself permission to believe for more, to attract better, and also to want better, even if it's not for you, for your community, for your extended family, for those impoverished people around you. Then number 3, that they come into the fullness of their personhood. So you see the principles are purpose, prayer, personhood, that you know yourself so well that you can stand in your core identity. So I'm going to pass it back to you. I know I kind of disrupted the flow, but it was very important for me to say thank you.
Thank you very much, Sage. You can disrupt me anytime. I'm your Indomie, or you are my Indomie, as vice versa. So we're gonna take a couple of questions. And anytime Sage takes the floor, I don't know if you picked those 3 things I was trying to write: spiritual intelligence, prosperity, and purpose. You can drop it in the chat. Those are the 3 things that every woman should thrive in. We as women are not just created to be caretakers. We're not just, look at the Proverbs 31 woman. She's able to internalize and then exhibit everything that God had created for her. And then she lived a life of significance. That's what God has created for us to do. So if you're a Proverbs 31 woman, but you are not living a life of significance, we are learning it now, because there's no life of significance without money. So we need to learn to make money first. So taking our questions, Ma, I think I have to scroll back up because we've had a lot of chats. Thank you so much for dropping your chats. Okay, so Yeah, coach has answered the money healing therapy. So someone said, I need to open up and learn more about investments. That was Queen. And then Tayo said, I have to work hard to make money. Well, Tayo, you have to work hard to make money, but the other part of it is learning how to hold on to it and then multiply it, because you can't work all your life. That is part of what we are going to be doing in the future. So, okay, Miriam said I need to do a reflection of my income versus expenditure. Yeah, we talked about that. Now, Xiaomi has not changed their name. Can one have up to 2 or more different money archetypes? And the second question, which I think is related, is how can I change from the innocent to the warrior archetype? So can you have 2 or more archetypes? That's one. Then 2, how do you switch from one to the other?
Thank you so much, Crystal. Your questions are quite apt. But most importantly, let me acknowledge Coach Eden. She's full of words, full of words. Well done, Coach Eden. I appreciate you and I respect you so much. And I don't just respect you, I respect your life's journey. Okay, just so you know. So this is an opportunity for me to say it to you that you are working and you are walking in your purpose. Okay, and I pray for strength for you. Right. So back to the question, Crystal. Thank you very much. Yes, it is absolutely possible for you to have traits of multiple archetypes, because the archetypes are a reflection of the habits that you have, right? The patterns, your characteristics, your personalities, the adjectives of those archetypes, the adjectives in those archetypes describe you. So if you take any personality quiz, right, they would list adjectives to qualify you, and then they would advise you to click the words that describe you that comes to your mind first, right? That thing that comes to your mind first is what qualifies you. So it is possible for you to have high traits of an innocent, a victim, and even a high traits of a warrior. Right? It is very possible. You can have more. And like I said, the archetypes don't define you. They're just a reflection of where you are at every point in time. So don't go ahead and label yourself as this. But it's good to tell yourself, I want to be a warrior. I'm a warrior. Yes, we're all warriors. We fight every day. In fact, we wake up every day and fight every day. We fight for survival, fight for existence, fight for love, fight for purpose, we are in a race as humans, right? So the archetypes, like I said, is where you are at, is who you are. It's not who you are, it's where you are at. And it's a reflection, or rather, it reveals what you need, where you are at, and what you need to do to move towards where you want to go to. Now, the second question is, if I have a high innocent, how do I transit from a high innocent to a warrior? What you need to do first and foremost is to seek clarity as to why you are exhibiting traits of an innocent. What are the traits of an innocent? Indecisiveness, not wanting to face your life realities, not wanting to deal with that one challenge you are experiencing with your finances. Is it that you are struggling with savings? Is it that you are struggling with earning? Is it that you don't want to face the realities of you're not getting a job, or maybe your career is not profitable, or maybe you need to build capacity? Unless you claim your powers back, you will keep hovering around different archetypes and you will not really experience that traits of a warrior. Because the traits of a warrior is goal-driven, is competitiveness, is decisiveness, is being a decision maker, is being successful. Now, how do you achieve all those things if you haven't built your inner, what's the word now? You haven't built capacity from within, right? If you understand the laws of wealth, they say there are inner laws and there are outer laws, right? What are the inner laws of wealth? Discipline is number one, right? Focus is number one. Preparedness, perseverance, diligence, dedication, all those things, those are principles that you need to develop. So even when you set goals and you lack those principles, or you haven't defined the values that will help you achieve those goals, you will keep sabotaging them. So to move from an innocent to a warrior, you first of all need to start to learn how to claim your powers back. If your issue is trusting people, who are you trusting? Are you trusting family members? Are you trusting experts? Your financial destiny is in whose hands? What career do you need to start? What business idea or what second job or side hustle do you need to add to your current job to create the income that you... So a lot of these things reside inside of us. The answers that you seek are already inside of you. You are fully resourced as you are. So all you need to do is go back to reflecting mode or doing your meditation or mindfulness and start to seek answers for yourself. So that you can recognize where you need to start from, what you need to start doing, and start doing it. I saw in the chat that someone was saying that, is the Bible enough and all of that? The Bible is one aspect, is a spiritual aspect, right? Different people have different spiritual practices that they use. But remember that at the start of my class, I said that there are different dimensions to money, right? So you have the spirituality, you have the emotions, you have the practical, and you have your instinctive. So you find that if you're only working on faith, right? Is it not the Bible that says faith cometh by hearing and hearing and doing all those? You can't just sit down and be reading, carry your Bible and be reading the word every day without taking action. So if you are reading only Bible principles and you are not taking prerequisite action to match your faith, and remember I said money is energy. So you exchange, how this energy works is you exchange your value, you exchange your gift, your anointing, who you are, in exchange for money. You exchange your time. You exchange the capacities and the skills that you have built or you have invested in yourself for money. And that's how money flows. So money is going, so that $1 bill, if this is a $1 bill, this $1 bill is going to come from one person to me. I'm going to move it from, and that's how the money flows. I will take that $1 bill, do what I want to do, pay it in exchange for something. Somebody else will, and that same money will keep going round and round in circle. So you stop the flow when you are not living to your purpose. You're not living the life that you are meant to live. You are not doing what you're supposed to do in exchange for money. You halt that flow in your life and you stay in stagnancy. So it's your ability to align the different dimensions, the different, ways that money come in. That relationship with money is that ability to align everything together that helps you. I hope that answers what I read in the chat.
Wow. I think it went above and beyond. Most importantly, money is energy. Energy flows. And there's something I've always heard and I always say, money follows value. And you just describe that cycle. You give money for value, but what value are you also putting out to make sure that money comes back to you? That is so profound. I know you didn't say it quite like that, but that is how I received it. You need to intentionally and continuously give value. And as you do that, you will no longer be scared of your coffers being empty because the money keeps coming back, no matter how long it goes.
You received the anointing well.
It keeps coming back. And oh my God, thank you so much. I know it's late where you are, and I know that we have taken a lot of your time. Thank you very much for pouring out of yourself. Can you please say a very big thank you to Miss Patience Carey, because this, I don't know, but my own life has changed this night, today. My life has changed because I was in this masterclass. Coach, I sent you a message because I think that this is something that we need to continue to. So let me bring Coach on the spot. I was asking that, can we have this at a cost so that we can have the replay? We can keep replaying it. This is a kind of masterclass that we need to resync into ourselves maybe once a month, just to remind yourself of who you are. That no, you are no longer that fool. You are no longer the tyrant. You are now the warrior. You are the magician. You know how money works and you know how to use it for yourself. So, Coach, I'm begging.
Before Coach Eden speaks, Coach Eden has she has about a few books on affirmations and all of that. So that's a big resource as well. So it's not like I said, remember the different dimensions of money. So it's not enough. You also need to combine all the different elements to build your capacity. So over to you, Coach Eden.
Thank you so much, Ma. So before we bring...
So I know, Patience, you're still on, right? You're not going yet. I'm hoping. Okay, I'm compelling you to stay on so that after this session, we can still do some Q&A. So Thank you for your sacrifice. She's going to be on just because I asked her to be on.
Thank you very much, Ma, for staying on. So we are going to take a few minutes, like a 5-minute break. You can dash to the bathroom, grab a snack, grab some water or a juice, and then let's head back here. And then while we're gone, we'll be able to, right now our brain has received, let your body receive a bit, and then we'll be back and then we'll bring the sage herself, and then she'll put the icing on this cake for us, because this cake that we are baking, we've already finished baking it, we have put it down. Now it's resting with remaining icing. So they will come and put icing on the cake. So Omolola, let's take the intermittent music and then we'll be back. Thank you. And this music, let me quickly tell you before Omolola plays it, I'm Olofofo. I like to, you said no snack, I'm glued to the screen. So this music is by the sage herself, and it is available on all platforms. We're going to drop it in the link. And then we are going to play from what the affirmations. You keep, I was confident before, but the kind of confidence I'm exhibiting now it's like the thing has taken is on adrenaline level. Get that book of affirmations. We're going to read from it today, but get that book of affirmations. It's going to change you from the inside out. When you know who you are and you know why you are created, nothing will be stoppable. There's nothing unstoppable. Everything is unstoppable. See, my English is even colliding. Everything is unstoppable for you. So, Omolola, please take it away.
Make a name for yourself, oh God. Make a name for yourself, oh God. Make a name for yourself. Make a name for yourself. Make a name for yourself, Jesus. Make a name for yourself, oh God. Make a name for yourself, oh God. Make a name for yourself, oh God. Make a name for yourself. Make a name for yourself. Make a name for yourself, Jesus. Make a name for yourself, oh God. Magnify in my life, oh God. Magnify with my life, oh God. Magnify through my life. Magnify in my life. Magnify in my life, oh God. Magnify in my life, oh God. Lord, in my life, let your kingdom come. In my life, let your will be done. In my life, let your kingdom and will be done. In my life, let your kingdom come. In my life, let your will be done. Oh God. Make a name for yourself, oh God. Make a name for yourself, oh God. Make a name for yourself. Make a name for yourself. Make a name for yourself, Jesus. Make a name for yourself, oh God. Make a name for yourself, oh God. Make a name for yourself, oh God. Make a name for yourself. Make a name for yourself. Make a name for yourself, Jesus. Make a name for yourself, oh God. Magnify in my life, oh God. Magnify with my life, oh God. Magnify through my life. Magnify in my life. Magnify in my life, oh God. Magnify in my life, oh God. Lord, in my life, let your kingdom come.
Okay, guys, welcome back. Let's get right in. Let's dive in. I know it's late where you are, but trust me, the next 1 hour is not something you want to miss. I want to absolutely encourage you that you can sacrifice 1 hour more or even 2 hours more of sleep for the volume of knowledge, light, deliverance, and realignment that's about to hit you. Part P, Patience has done such a fantastic job. I want you to get everything that you are destined to get. Again, I don't know if the replays are going to be available. I didn't get the instruction to make the replays available. You keep me, yeah, I didn't, God did not ask me to make the replays available. He asked me to do this for free. So I believe that if you stay on and share the link, this is a great investment tonight or this afternoon, depending on where you are. Hey, we stay awake for things that are not even destiny changing sometimes. So if you can do a snack and Netflix, consider this their realignment you need. So my name is Eden Ionwuka, coach, communication trainer, financial expert, business advisor, singer, songwriter, author, mother of author, fill in the blanks, cancer survivor, and overall recipient of grace. So I want us to go right in. So you have heard a lot, and that's powerful. I love it. So I want you to share the link. We've had some spots open up on Zoom. This is a good place to invite someone to join. What I want to share with you today is a little bit about savings, a little bit about credit, a little bit about debt. Then I'm going to share with you 5 life-changing financial principles that you can apply today, not tomorrow, that will shift your finance. And I know in every room where there are men and women, there are 3 categories of people financially. Those that are comfortable and they're like, all this money talk is not for me. They are very comfortable. However, those people who are comfortable, who are actually very wealthy, want to learn how to maintain their money, want to learn how to grow their money. You know why? Please put it in the chat box. I'm a teacher, so please, I love engagement. Wealth conservation must balance wealth creation. There can be no wealth creation outside of wealth conservation. So even if you are, okay, I'm wealthy, I don't need anything, you must realize that you need to conserve your wealth. Then in the same room, there are people who are barely having enough. They don't have enough. They are just making it through. And you know, the sad thing about those category of people is that in the inflation, quote unquote, and the disappearing middle class, a life event can set a comfortable person to a homeless situation. I drove through downtown yesterday when I was going for an event. And in downtown Houston, the America, the level of homeless people, I kept looking at them and I wondered, what is their story? How did they get there? If you engage with some of them, you realize that they were thoroughbred professionals. Many of them went to school. Many of them were, it's not addiction, it's not drugs. Some are, but many of them, it's a life event. Because everyone is one paycheck away from homeless if they don't have savings, the right principles, the right credit, or a backup plan. So you have those that are comfortable, but a sudden unplanned life event, like a divorce, unfortunately, the loss of a loved one, sickness, life, relocation, loss of a job, something happened that put them in a situation where they never believed. I've survived cancer 2 times, so I can tell you about life events. Or someone who lost a job and didn't get a job immediately. So that's the second group. Then this third group are those who are currently struggling. They can't even hold their head above water. The next paycheck has to come, like they don't even have enough. Before the salary comes, the budget has already exceeded it. So whatever spectrum or category that you are in, I want to plead with you to take these teachings very seriously. Our desire is to provide the light you need to improve your finances, either from good to great, from great to extraordinary, from extraordinary to phenomenal, or from not enough to enough. Please, very important. So let's start from the very beginning. So my background, I'm eclectic, meaning I do a few things and I do them really well. It's a grace God has given me. I have 20 years corporate professional expertise in corporate. I started my corporate journey with Shell 20 years ago, but I've spent 19 years in the financial services, 8 years in financial services internationally in Nigeria, but 10 years with Bank of America. And I've served business owners. I've served people to help them with their financial needs. So what I'm speaking on, you will hear a lot of revelation, but you also hear over 200 clients that I serve every month times 10. Various kind of clients. So I want you to take what I'm about to say seriously, because money is a revealer. When I sit on the screen and I'm supporting clients, I'm seeing where money has taken them to. In fact, when I look at someone's transaction history or money history, I can dictate, I can tell the next season of their lives. So someone comes and tells me they are broke and I'm seeing their money pattern, no judgment. Someone comes and is a bit overweight, I can see their money patterns. I'm seeing the excessive eating out. So money reveals much more. That's why even in FBI drug enforcement, if they want to find a criminal, they say follow the money. Please put it in the chat box. They follow the money. If they want to find a kidnapped person, they follow the money. If they want to bust a human trafficking ring, they follow the money. Money is such a powerful revealer, even in relationships. Show me a powerful, anointed spiritual man or woman and show me their financial life, their financial habits. I can tell you if the anointing will be sustained, because money proves or disproves character. Oh, yes. I had a client in my office that was trying to make sure that he was not in trouble with IRS. And he had over 500,000 that he wanted to put somewhere. So he said, put it in my brother's account so that IRS will not know it's mine. I said, okay. As your business solutions advisor, by the way, bragging rights on God, who is always making a name for himself, I'm top 7% in the entire Bank of America Corporation as one of the top 7, number 7 out of 15 or 1,700 business advisors. So please take this time freely. This is your consultation that God just made for you. So back to the story. He said, put it in his brother's account, no problem. I'm your business advisor. I just said, I'm going to leave you and your wife for 2 minutes, but I wanted to ask you a question. He said, yes. I said, do you love your brother? Yes. Do you trust your brother? Yes. Okay. So do you trust your brother with money? Yes. I said, have you ever given your brother this amount of money to keep for you? He got confused. I said, what I'm asking, have you ever entrusted him with $20,000, with $10,000, with $200? Have you ever empowered him with this level of finance? And has he ever? He said, no. I said, okay, that's number one. Number two question. If in the event this money disappears, what is your remediation? What will you do to your brother? He said, nothing. I will just cry. So you can't sue him. No. You can't get, no. So I said, so I'm going to walk out of the room and give you 2 minutes to talk with your wife and decide if you still want to give this money for him to keep for you. The story changed 100%. You know why? Because money is a revealer. Money is the litmus test for sustained character. When he considered the question, can you kill him? No. Even if you kill him, will the money come out? No. Family meeting? No. He immediately realized that wonderful brother has never been entrusted with that weight of money responsibility. So in relationship too, over 45% of all conflicts are money, intimacy, and communication issues. Money. So if you are here, I don't want you to opt out and say it's for the people who are not doing well. No. Money issues are the greatest issues of family issues. You know the newest lucrative occupation is, can you guess? Please put it in the chat box. What is the most lucrative occupation now? Engineer, doctor, therapist, fantastic. Olushola Lawasel, therapist. Let me have 2 more takers. Please wake up, move around, wash your eye. So your engagement will determine if we do this again another day. Fantastic. Tech. Begging. Who is this one? Someone said begging. Life coach. All your answers are good, but you didn't consider the most lucrative one is next of kin. Oh, next of kin. Next of kin. Oh, yes. If you have ever lost a parent, you will see the drama that comes when money comes. People change. I am laying the foundation so that I want to disrupt your mindset around this class that we are taking. This class that we are taking is not a regular class. We want to empower you so that you realize how important it is to have the right money habits, the right financial principles, and the right shifts in your money consciousness. It will affect your parenting. It will affect your husbanding, your wifing, your single motherhood, widowhood. Money is a revelator. Oh, yes. And that's why I like what Patience said, because both of us are in the same school of thought. I don't believe that money does not buy happiness. There's certain happiness you can buy. A massage is happiness. Vacation can provoke certain happiness. All this. So let me take this urgent call. Excuse me, my husband is calling me. Hold on.
People, are you on the edge of your seats? Hey, okay. Somebody is about to be disrupted. Yes, money cannot buy happiness, but it can buy. But let's face it, money cannot, but it cannot cure sadness too. And lack of money cannot buy happiness either. So let us remove money and happiness from the same wavelength. They are not mates. Money is not for emotions. Money is for, for you to have rest, for you to buy time. So when Coach comes back, we are in for a role. Hallelujah. Yes, so I'm yet to find somebody that is getting a massage that is crying. And I'm yet to find somebody that cannot pay their rents that is happy. Let's go in the comments. What have you gotten so far? Miss Patience said vacation can provoke certain happiness. Miss Patience, that vacation, if you can afford vacation, you are in a perpetual level of happiness.
Thank you for your understanding. I'm back. Very important family. I ordered something and my husband is speaking of. Anyway, back to what we are seeing. For over 40% of stress-induced issues is money related. Did you know that the number one struggle in marriages or relationship is not is not adultery. That will shock you. Adultery is a deal breaker, but it's not adultery. Surveys found out that the number one is the lack of financial literacy, not even money, just the gap that you know everything, but you don't know about certain financial literacy. Financial literacy. Because most of us, if we're not in finance, we don't learn about finance. We just figure it out. Or we just adopt or become like our background or like our environment. So what P. Carey said is very true. Many of us, our foundations have defined our money mindset. Oh, yes. Every time I talk to some women, and there's nothing wrong with it, it's just a reflection of their money mindset. They're like, I don't want to have money more than my husband. So that means if God's vision for your life is to be the money deliverer in your generation, you have refused it because mentally you've taught yourself, I don't want to have money more than my husband. Oh, yes. I don't want to have money. I don't want to earn more than him. And it's beautiful. It sounds beautiful. But what if God wants to empower you to make sure that his life enters into rest? You think if you give him brand new car, he will not collect? So many times we have our mental block. And there are some people that grew up seeing money change people negatively. They saw money change people negatively. Meaning, this man was going to church, then he now got money. He became proud. He married another wife. The woman, once she got money, she became proud and committed adultery. So for them, money and wealth is adultery. Money and wealth is pride. When my mom saw a few of our friends, when we were growing up, falling into that pattern where they go, we don't want money, my mom made a statement that became one of my life's affirmation. I probably was 10 or 11 there. My mom said, at the peak of my wealth, God, I will serve you best. My mom said, I'm not one of those that money will derail. Meaning what she was saying is that my money consciousness, my money energy is pure. I will not associate prosperity with sin. At the peak of my wealth, God, I will serve you best. And in her life, even with her limited, the limitations of her growing up, her life reflected it. She delivered on her life purpose before she went to heaven. Today, you're going to hear better money habits. Credit. You know how many diasporans, people who don't understand credit and they suffer? Your network is no longer your net worth. That's 1A. The 1B is your credit worthiness is your net worth. Please write it down. Your credit worthiness is your network. Your network and your credit worthiness is now your net worth. I've seen people who had $80 in their account come in and they live with a new house and a new car and fund the vision and dreams for their life. Then I've seen people who have 120,000 and don't get approved for anything. What was the difference? Credit. So your understanding of the new financial tools of the 21st century will give you leverage. Lola, if you have the slide, put the slide together. So what is this thing called credit? What is this thing called credit score? And why is it important? Oh, it is important because it's the difference between you giving your child a good education, you funding your dreams. It's also the difference between you having the means to be empowered. What is credit and why should it bother you? Especially those of us in the diaspora. If you're in the diaspora, it should matter to you. I remember when I came to Boston and I schooled in Boston, I used to look at all my classmates and say, this was a spending credit card. I prided myself on using only my debit card. And I did it for years until I wanted a vehicle and nobody would approve me for a vehicle. You know why? Because bad credit and no credit are the same. I hadn't built credit. Nobody sat me down and said, come, credit is a tool. You are not a slave to it. It's your friend. Make sure that you use it to empower. Nobody told me that all these things you're spending on the debit card is a plastic in exchange for cash. It's not doing anything for you. Nobody sat me down to tell me that This is a journey, and you might be in a season as a business owner where you will need funding, and it is your character worthiness. That's what credit is. Your financial character worthiness that will guarantee. Nobody explained. So when I wanted to buy a vehicle, nobody would approve me because no credit and bad credit are the same. When you don't have credit and when you have a bad credit, they are the same. So let's go on. I wanted to touch a little on it because that's the struggle, especially when people relocate and they are transitioning, and there's that struggle of what are they supposed to do? As a good rule, let's start from the credit that buying a house. 28% of your income is the most you should spend on home buying. You should not spend anything more than 28% of your income to fund the biggest investment of your life, which is a mortgage. You know why? Because all your debt should not be more than 36% of your income. And your housing debt should not be more than 28%. So do the math now, you understand why it's tight. Some of us are feeling the belt. Because if your entire income or your entire debt is more than 28% of your income, you will feel the pinch. And if your entire debt right now is more than 36%, you will feel the pinch. But let's move on quickly to credit. We can't talk about credit without talking about debt. How many of you have debts? Do you want to, on a scale of 1 to 10, let's not put numbers. On a scale of 1 to 10, please put where you are in debt. Let's not, if we put numbers now, it might be too much. Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 on your debt? You see? Shamina said, my credit worthiness helped me launch my business in the first place. I couldn't imagine not having access to capital. Yes, many people are launching their dreams. There are many dreams that God has already approved that you just need credit to finance. On a scale of 1 to 10, how big is your debt? 10 being the highest and 0 being the lowest. Let's see. Quickly. On a scale of 1 to 10, how big is your debt? 3, Tayo, 6, Ronnie, 2, Atama, 1, okay, 1%, 3, 0. Okay, which is the 0%? I need to talk to you. He has no debt, or she. Wow. Virginia said, I had to refresh debt relief because of falling into a scam. Yes, when you have those life events. Joyce said 8. Yeah, some people. So you are seeing that some people are really high in debt. Someone says 0 debt. Well, good for you, Grace. Debt is not bad. Please put it down. Let's bust some myths immediately. Debt is not bad as long as you can leverage it. Remember, credit is a tool. Is a good slave, is a bad master. Debt is a tool. Is a good slave, is a bad master. These are tools for you to lead. Business debt is not bad. There's no business here that was not founded by capital. Over 80 years ago, Walt Disney went to every bank and they denied it. It was Bank of America that funded Walt Disney. The rest is history. They don't need funding. But without that capital, lending from Bank of America, there will be no Walt Disney now. So debt is not bad, but I want you to, in fact, turn it into affirmation and say, I am not a slave to the debt. Debt is my slave. Credit is my slave. These are your tools. So your mastery over them is what will move you from wealth to wealth surplus or from debt to wealth. So but it's my slave. These are your tools. It's like AI. Someone saying, is AI good? It's not bad. Those things are not bad. They are neutral. What the mastery you bring to it is what makes it good or bad. These are neutral tools. It's just like money in the hand of a good person. It becomes good energy. It's used to pay for orphans, send people to school, support widows. If you don't know what to do with money, please put it in fund someone's cancer journey, fund someone's life journey, pay for someone's funeral so that nobody is dehumanized doing GoFundMe call. Go fund me, and people being paraded, please, for 1 million naira. So you must aspire to have more money because of the vision of God for you, your family, your community, and the global influence you would have. So let's go back to credit. How do people ruin credit in such a way that their debt becomes so bad? It's because that we have not taught people how to manage and leverage debt. So I want to share a few tips on how to target debt. Number one debt at a time. If you look at the 7, 8 debts, you'll be overwhelmed. Take one at a time. Someone put it in the comment, one at a time. But you don't understand. I have car loan, I have student loan, my children. No. You have to take it one at a time. So in this quarter, say, which one can I take care of first? And you can do 2 ways. How you know the one that is priority? Find a way to reduce your debt by taking it one step at a time, either by looking at the interest rates on those debts. Do you know 9 out of 10 people don't look at their interest rate on their debt? Every time I sit with a client and we do a debt consolidation, I ask them, how much are you? Oh, I see you've had this credit card for 10 years. Yes. You've had it for 5 years. Yes. How much are you paying? They're like, they go blank. They don't know. They don't know the interest. I didn't know. They don't know that after 12 months or after 18 months, that there's an interest variability. So I have to tell them, go to your statement, scroll down and see, they're like, oh my God, 27%. I said, that's why you can never pay it off. Because right now, the finance charges on the debt you have with the minimum payment you are paying, you can never pay it off. So I tell them, you must look at the interest rate. Like I said, remember, debt is a tool, credit is a leverage. Don't forget those things. You hear them recurrently. So today, not tomorrow, this week, go and check all your debts and write down all the interest rate. Then you will find out the one you should focus on first. So when you find out that 18%, 22%, 27%, high loan, 2 things you need to do. Stop using that debt. Because the more you accumulate, you can't pay. So that's, you take your hands off that debt and stop using it. You know the next thing you're going to do? Find a way to pay it. That's the one you need to focus on. Why? Because at 22%, 27%, everything you put is almost like you are pouring water into a basket. Finance charges. So you stop using it. Or if that's not what you want to do, you go to the second one. The first one that I shared with you is called interest debt consolidation. The second one is the snowball effect. The snowball effect is, okay, maybe I don't want to pay this high one, it's a lot. Look for the smallest debt and pay it off so that the money you use to service that small one, you can put it into the huge one. Those 2 options never fail. So whenever I'm doing a debt consolidation this week, and what I'm going to do is, okay, this one is already earning interest. So I'm going to work it in such a way that I'm not going to put more debt on it. I'm also going to work it in such a way that I pay it off. So you pay the little foxes that are spoiling the vine so that you can concentrate on Jericho falling down. The mental overwhelm people feel. Excuse me, this woman is disturbing me. This woman is disturbing me. Okay. The mental overwhelm, why people feel there's no need, I can't start, is because of they don't know that they have an opportunity to debt consolidate. You know what I'm going to do this week? I will show you an example. So I got a new credit card because, 0% for 18 months. So I'm going to move the debt from one of the accounts that now this is the oldest debt I have. And because I know that you should not close a credit card. Did you hear that? You pay it to 0% and leave it. Once you close it, you lose the years of your credit history. That's why people use credit card and yet their credit is bad. You know why? Because they've lost the credit history. They don't know. Financial literacy is one of the strongest opportunity people have. They don't know. Don't assume people know. Adult 101, many of people didn't go to financial literacy classes. So they carry on that issue even into the relationships. And they think that they know. So you don't close out the credit card, you bring it in a 0 balance. So you don't lose the history. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move my highest debt, which is the oldest, that has the highest interest rate. I'm going to move it to the 0%. so that I pay it off 0, and that's going to shoot up my credit score probably to 800 or whatever. Then I will now structure, because I have 18 months on 0. The new acquired debt is now acquired on better terms. I'll now structure it every month, and in probably 6 months, I'll pay it off. That's debt consolidation. So either you pay off the highest interest or you take the little debt one at a time. Please continue, Omodola. Target your debts one at a time. The number 2, pay more than the minimum. When people tell me, but what's the fastest way I can teach my children about credit? I tell them the ABC of credit. A, don't ever miss a payment. If you are going to miss a payment, be the one to contact the creditor. Call them in advance. For instance, there's a hurricane there was a hurricane in Houston. So if you call and explain that there's a live event, they can give you a deferral for 1 or 2 months and move 1 or 2 months to the end of your loan. That way you are not defaulting and you can come up forever. But people don't know this. So don't miss a payment. Number 1, if possible, don't miss a payment. And if you should default on the payment, please write it down. Be the one who calls the creditor. By the time the creditor calls you, you're already defaulting. You don't understand? Even in personal relationship, don't wait for the person you borrowed money to ask you for the money. These are financial integrity, character, better money habits, principle that make you different. The person who comes back and said, hey, see, by my projection, I was sure I would have paid this loan. But look at what happened. Oh my God, I am ashamed. Please, can you give me time? Has more honor than the one that they are calling and is going to voicemail. Or the one that they have to now wait. Hello, hi, hello, hi, and nobody is answering. Or the one is after the 6 months and they call you, say, I was meaning to reach out to you. In financial debt consolidation, credit, you must be, the debtor must always be proactive to be the initiator of the conversation. Even in regular life, if the debtor initiates the conversation, they have honor, they have integrity. So for credit, pay more than the minimum. ABC of credit. Number 1, don't miss a payment if you can, please. Pay before the due date. Number 2. Number 3, pay more than the minimum. If you pay the minimum, you cannot knock off the interest. Then let me add a number 4. Whatever you spend, never exceed 30% of the weight of the card. So if your card is a $1,000 card or ₦1,000 card, try to not go below go above 400 or 450. Now, in emergency, you may go above or pay it down, because whenever you shoot above 40%, it's affecting your credit score. It's showing that you're desperate. And also, if possible, don't apply so much in different seasons. So I tell people, if you want to apply for anything, apply it in the same day so that you have one credit pool. But not on Monday, I applied for a card. On Wednesday, I applied for, applying different months is going to give the feedback of desperation, and desperation is never good in the credit journey. So pay more than the minimum. Moving on quickly. So you target one loan bill at a time, Lola. Number 2, pay more than the minimum. Number 3, we've talked about consolidating debt. Looking for the best debt. So the 30% means if you are approved, the life of the credit, the overall total amount of the credit, ensure your spending doesn't go beyond the 30% or 40% total of the credit. If you have $1,000, the 30% of $1,000 is 333. So that means your credit, you are looking at it while you are spending. You are spending, but as Igbo people say, mulanya, one of your eyes is open. So you are spending, and make sure that you don't exceed at least $400. Does that mean that you can't lump bills? You can, but keep it in mind so that you only exceed 30 or 40% when you are in an emergency. Many of us create credit emergencies when our lives are not an emergency. Let me repeat it again. If you pay it off by due date, that's different, because what you are doing, there are 2 types of credit card users. There's the revolver and the transactor. Please put it down. The revolver and the transactor. The revolver is the person who leaves balance and just say, credit is for use. Credit is for the use. Balance is part of life. It does not mean anything. And carries it from Monday to Tuesday to January to December. I'll just be paying. It's okay. I don't care about interest as long as I have it as a back. That's the revolver. Now the transactor says, you know what? I'm going to leverage the credit use, build my credit, but before due date, I pay it off because I'm trying to avoid the interest. There's no right or wrong one. Some people don't mind debt. Some people are smarter with debt. Some people don't want carryover. But the point is, make sure you have periodic consolidation of debt. If you've not done one this year, do it. Go back to every loan you've ever had. You know why? Because loans balloon. Put that down. Loans and debts balloon. The fact that at the beginning of that loan, it was 5% does not mean that at the end of the loan is 5%. A client came into my office and I said to him, you have a food truck. You need merchant services so that your clients can pay with a debit card. You know what he said? He said, I have one. I said, are you happy with the one you have? He said, the problem is that I'm not happy with it, but I didn't know I tied myself into a contract. Please read the fine print. He said they dangled that it was cheap, but I didn't know I signed a 2-year contract that I can't get out of. So they dangled, hey, the monthly payment is €1. But at the end of the day, he cannot leave it. So at the end of the day, he's seen that the contract, it has ballooned. Please check your interest rates. We're talking about how to make sure that you're not perpetually in debt. Pay off the easy ones. Consolidate your debt. Right now, I will never consciously service any loan with high interest. And that's what I'm doing this week. Move things. I'm like a chess piece. Let's take the next one. We've talked about debt, how to fix your debt. Let's talk about savings. Did you know that according to the every February is a financial savings week in America? Did you know that according to a statistic, 62%, please put it down, 62% of Americans confess that they don't have $1,000 saved anywhere. You didn't hear me. I think people are sleeping. Maybe we should end the class. Let's end the class. Everyone is sleeping. I need you to wake up. 65% of Americans did not have $1,000 saved. You don't understand the implication of that statement. 65%. Do you know the implication? The implication is that they are one paycheck away from homeless. They are one sickness, terminal illness away from homeless. They are a divorce away from living in a shelter. If you don't have, even in a hurricane, before the disaster assistance gets to you, you have to help yourself. Disaster assistance, all those things are remediation. You have to fix yourself first. I told people, if you have to run away, relocate, you run, can you pay for 5 days in a hotel with your children in a flood? If the answer is no, you are not poor in Jesus' name. I don't want to say you are poor. Now, and you're like, wow, Americans now, wow, they don't have a, see, the statistics will be worse in countries like Nigeria or other African countries that don't keep real data. If 65%, that's 6 out of 7 out of 10 people don't have 1,000, the average Nigerian probably doesn't have 100,000 saved or 200,000, meaning that in the event of an eventuality, forgive my tautology, people are in trouble. So savings is an ongoing conversation. If you not teach your children anything, please teach them the principle of savings. Thank you. More than half. Yes? All right, more than half. I'm not impressed by bags or hair. Those things are good. When I see people being ostentatious, I just count and I say 6 of these people don't have $1,000. The reports are there. In the disappearing middle class is lower. So when they are looking at like, hey, I want to be her, just count 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And like, these 4 are the only one that have savings. Do it anywhere. So one little thing, you see people, they can't afford. Teach your children to save. I started teaching my children to save at the age of 2. Because savings, the culture of saving is a lifesaver. And simple. Teach them in age-appropriate ways. When we go to the store, and they want to buy something, I ask them, do you want it or do you need it? I do like this. Do you need it or do you want it? 8 out of 10 times is a want, not a need. Most of our debts are 60% of wants, or 70% of wants, the 30% are the needs. Take an inventory of your closet. I'm talking to myself. I didn't call your name. I'm talking to myself. Someone say, if you want to call my name, call me directly. Take an inventory of all the things you have. Your garage is telling you. In the pandemic, we realized that all the things you had accumulated had no monetary value, because when we couldn't go out, we couldn't dress up, and we realized we were dressing for people. And most of the things that we claimed we needed, we didn't need them. It was when nobody could see you, you would not dress up. How many of you dressed up and stayed at home? Oh, yes. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. The bling and the ring and the sling and the shiny SOS, shiny object syndrome, half of the times is for people who don't know about you, who don't care about you, who don't remember you, and who can bail you out of debt. Yes, that's why you are martyrs and we are all those kinds of things. How many of you have asked the people you've lent money to lend you money and you heard story? Some of you are funding the dreams of the people who earn less than you. But because of your constant funding of not deciphering what is a need and a want, they have built houses, you are still living in an apartment. Martyr. Yeah. You know why? Because even in our own lives, we've not disconnected what is a need and a want. So when people come with SOS, we've not removed to say, is this a need? Please write it down. I said this a couple of years ago, and some people felt, ouch, I'm saying it again. If my emergency is not their emergency should not be constantly my emergency. And that's a financial principle. If my emergency is not their emergency, their perpetual emergency should not be my consistent emergency. Many times when people say it's not a lifeline, you are funding a luxury. You are funding their comfort level. They use your money for change, and you still have bills and debts to pay. Shamina said, when I was on my debt-free journey, I deleted apps where I could purchase. Yes, like Starbucks, yes. And I'm setting this foundation. So you teach your children. I've taught my children. Every time you get the dollar, you must save a part of it. If my emergency is not the emergency, their perpetual emergency should not be my consistent emergency. Please write it down. Financial intelligence is like pregnancy. It doesn't happen overnight. It's like childbirth. It doesn't happen overnight. You have 9 months to plan. Nobody ever, except there's a life event. Except there's a life event, you had 9 months. So when people get to the end of the term and they don't have money for the baby, I was like, what did we do in 9 months? There are exceptions to the rule, but you get the point. Financial intelligence is like childbirth, like pregnancy. You have 10 months to plan. If we do right every 10 months, we will not deliver a baby and put the baby in a newspaper and say, I did not have. Because when the baby was growing, we could have been asking. That's how financial intelligence is like. Except there is a life event, we should not be so stranded to the point of dehumanizing ourselves. Are you getting it? Somebody is getting delivered. Because after today, you will not say, God, fill my cup. Your cup will become an ocean and God will pour wealth into your life. But you must cover the money leaks. Wealth creation must be balanced by wealth conservation. If you don't conserve wealth, you cannot create wealth or sustain wealth. Teach your children to save. My children know for every $5, you should save $1. And don't tell me, I can't save. If you know my story, you can save 1 cent, 2 cents, $10 a week, $10 a month. Say, but if the money is not enough, if by that mindset, remember, it's a mindset, it's an energy. Money will never be enough. Every time there's money, there will be a need. So I made an audacious goal years ago to save $1,000 at least for every year of my children's life, no matter what else we are doing. Meaning that by the time God helping me, someone is 10 years, they should have $10,000 saved. Have I met it? I'm close to it because we've had to leverage on it for their projects. But that has helped me. And by doing that, I went to my salary and created direct deposit to save without thinking. I'm giving you another key of savings. You train yourself. You retrain yourself to save before you spend, so that you condition your life to get used to what you get, the leftover. So you say, okay, this money should not go into this account. 10% should go here. So I don't even see it. So I'm saving without thinking. So I put my direct deposit in 5 accounts. My kids' account, my vacation account, and the leftover comes to me. I forced myself to live as if that's my only income. And I'm telling you what I've done as difficult. Now, if we have a project like their book loan, we've had to leverage on it. But by and large, that has helped me, in a sense, to make sure I'm always saving. Someone just got a tip that can help them. Let's keep going, the slides. Teach your children to save. How can you save? Start by recording your expenses. I've not seen anyone who didn't record or have awareness, even if you're not recording, who didn't record or who didn't have awareness. Please share this to everybody, because the people asking you for money need this class. And if you are the only one financially empowered, you are not empowered. Yes. Isn't it beautiful that we are all growing together? At least in your circle, in your financial circle, you should have more people empowered than the number of people disempowered. The Bible says, Jesus said, the poor you always have amongst us. He didn't say you must be the poor. He didn't okay, let's not go there. Someone is saying, please, the Bible says the poor you would always have, meaning there will be room to always do your outreach, but you don't have to be that one. And if you do your work well by sharing this link to them or helping them in their journey, they will come to the point where even if they are not wealthy, they will never be in a perpetual cycle of emergency. That's our desire. Record your expense. You cannot not know what you're spending money on. If I asked you now, and I'm asking you, the majority of your spending, name the top 3 categories it goes to, please. And I want honest answers. Let's have a couple of takers. Quickly, put that in the chat box. Your top 3 spending, where does it go to? Your top 3 spending, where does it go to? Some of it food. Some is eating out. Good. Some say family expense. No. Fumi, what does family expenses mean? Family expenses is a broad category that doesn't. What is family expenses? Someone said food, grocery, giving. Good. You see? Tanto said giving. Joy said food, wellness, bills. You see? Food, grocery, training, cloth. Somebody is finally honest. Cloth. God bless you, Eziaku. Aqua, cloth. Someone said purpose. Davida, what does purpose mean? I want you people, when you are recording, you have to be so sincere that a 5-year-old can understand. What does purpose mean? Does it mean trainings? Does it mean investing in classes? You have to define it. And I want you to do it again. On top of every one you've put, I want you to ascribe a category. On a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to put some numbers on it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of food, NG, 9. But see, what is this? What did this just do to you? Awareness. Awareness is the first road to victory. If you are unaware and uninformed, you cannot create a shift. And this week, go to your bank accounts, request for your statement. This exercise is good. We're in class. God bless you. I know you're honest, but go to your bank account, reflect for your statement for the past, and just highlight it. You'll be surprised. Starbucks, food, eating out. And when you aggregate it, it's not wrong to eat out. Some of it is entertainment. absolutely repetitive entertainments. Number one, subscriptions that you don't use or you utilize. Subscriptions that you don't use 10%. I called my PA Lola and said to her, Lola, do you know, I just realized that for 1 year, we were paying for StreamYard because we used StreamYard for our last 1.5 conference, and we've not used StreamYard again. So that's an example of a periodic seasonal subscription. You should not be paying every month. After this, whatever, knowing that we will not use it again because we utilize mostly Zoom, we should have trashed it. So do the math for me, $25 times 11, money leaks. Money going. You put Audible, but you don't even read the book. You are not on Audible. Netflix, you don't watch it. Gym membership, sister, well done. Gym Johnny. Gym. I will never lose my song. Hey, Fit Farm, you went one that first week of New Year resolution. Big investments that you don't utilize. For instance, you bought a treadmill because you say it will motivate me. I didn't call your name. I called my name. I did not call your name. So you bought the treadmill, 3,000, capital intensive. But you are the kind of person that your energy needs accountability. You're not the kind of person that is self-motivated. So that's your powerful 3,000 is tied down there, because you would have done better in a congregational gym where you will not even spend half of that money, where you not even spend 1,000 in 3 years, because you are the kind of person that needs bodies. Oh, okay. This person needs a blessing. Treadmill have turned to cloth hanger. In fact, it has turned to storage. Yes, there are apps. Yes, even your bank apps, Bank of America apps has spending. It tells you that, it tells me either you spend a lot in this category. Yes, it's there. Most of your bank apps have it if you use it. There are many unused financial tools. We have credit score, all that. It tells me when I spend. I say, I know I spend, especially when I do vacations. But you see, record your expenses. That's the principle. Even if you not record it, yam, $2, half of yam, be aware. I love dressing up. So that's my guilty pleasure. So on a good day, if I check my spending, it will probably be with traveling or clothes. I don't have any other thing I'm servicing. I'm maybe giving. But you must know, how do you save? Record your spending. So you see the areas that you're spending the most. Yes, you have issues, but at least be aware. You don't have to do $5. Just be aware. Start to write it in your journal so that you can say, I'm seeing a pattern here. Are we here? I'm seeing a pattern that whenever I'm emotionally distressed, I do comfort buying. So I tend to make big unplanned purchases when someone breaks my heart. This is on this table. When I quarrel with my husband, I go and buy diamond ring. When I'm feeling somehow, well, Chioma, looks like Chioma is the chairman or the vice. Look at, some of us are emotional spenders. Our relationship predicts our spending. So record your expenses, a clarion call for awareness of your behavior pattern. I shared with my inner circle team because this was supposed to be a teaching for my team, and I was led to open it to everyone. Early in the year that I bought ring, I bought diamond ring and convinced myself it's for anniversary. The Holy Spirit said, you better go and return it. That's the Holy Spirit is powerful. He said, go and return it. He said, is that what we talked about? I was saying, but he's going. He said, go and return it. And I went 1 week later and returned it. And the lady said, but you were so convinced to buy it. I said, I'm no longer, I'm unconvinced now. How many of you buy because you're trying to impress the cashier? Hey, you're trying to impress the cashier or the person who is shopping with you. Add that, add this, add that. And when you left, you're asking someone you will never see again. So this is your key. If you still have tags on the cloth and it's not up to 90 days, you don't need it, go and return it. That's part of savings. Record the expense. Determine what is a need and a want. See the patterns. When I'm feeling down, I want to spend. So when I'm feeling down now, I have to tell my body there's a way out. When I'm feeling low energy, I go to online shopping. So you know what I now do now? I just shop as much as possible and leave them in the shopping cart. It's therapeutic and I walk away. I've now trained myself to not check out. Tell someone you don't have to check out. You must not check out. You don't need the checkout. You don't need it. In 2018, God told me invest. And that time I made sure I didn't buy one single thing and I saved and invested. We'll talk about that more. So let's keep going. Record the expenses. Know the big thing you spend. Some of us eat more than is necessary. Now, after you record your expenses, please include savings in your budget. Today, you are going to see the beginning of a shift in your finances. You know why? Because you don't accidentally save. I've never seen anybody that accidentally saved. If you accidentally save, you accidentally what? Spend. Savings must be intentional and budgeted for. If you don't budget for savings, you will not save effectively. Please write it down. Some of you have just, Sarah. However you save it, will save. The future is not mine. So you save anyhow. What did DK call spiritual anyhowness? Everything about you just anyhow. I started business anyhow, save anyhow, marry anyhow, love anyhow, never. No. You must include savings in your budget. Meaning that this budget, the way I'm budgeting for bills, I will budget to save. If there is no resource allocation, there will be no allocation. Decide, not waiting to save, and if it doesn't happen, well, it didn't happen. Start that. No, you have to decide. You see what I did? When I was not even a business solutions advisor, I made a decision when my daughter was 1 year that God will help me. I may not buy a one bear. I may not buy gold. I may not see me at every wedding. I'm going for Patience Brother Zone. That Georgia will wear it. But you see the point. So I sacrificed many things because I said, I want to make sure I save. And my body is now used to that amount. Without including savings in your budget, you will not budget to save. If you don't save, if you don't include savings in your budget, you will not budget to save. I think we all understand it. Yes, thank you. I can read the powerful comments. Yes, I love you guys. You're engaged. Please still share too. Someone can still catch light. Let their lives be better. We still have 6 solid months for God to show up. Even July is not ended. This is your better half and your season of better things where you experience a better life. And many of those things rest on financial literacy, intelligent decisions. I'm telling you. You know, credit alert is a love language. Gary Chapman talked about 5. Gifts of affirmation, word of whatever, quality. Alert is a love language. Money, having some sort of money is a love language. Yes, I feel good every time I get a lot. I just start to become more poetic. The love flows easily, the energy. Dear nurturer, you are the husband God gave me. I chose you yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Zell, the power of alert and catch up. Zell, alert is a love language. Try it and see, test and see. Let's keep going. So include savings in your budget. Lola, let's go. Well done. And find a way to cut spending. Wealth creation without wealth conservation will never happen. I've met some of the wealthiest people in my line of business. Someone will just have 3 million, your mortgage, 7 of your mortgage sitting down, they will come with t-shirt. They are not careless. Or they live a luxurious life, but they are not careless. And we're going to get there. Jesus was interested in leftovers. After he multiplied a sandwich, a happy meal, and delivered satisfaction to over 7,000 people. They said 5,000, not counting women. He served breakfast to 7,000 people. That should have been enough. But because the master understands financial principles, he said, where are you people going to? Go and pack the leftover. Leftover, how you will treat leftover with this cut the spending. Now, you may not be able to cut the food, but there are things you can cut. Please, what you will cut may be different from what I can cut. I know what I can cut and get away with it. Find a way to, Lola, thank you. I love the slide you made. That is fantastic. Cut the spending. There are areas you can cut spending. Unnecessary waste of light. Subscriptions. Excessive eating. Now, should we not eat now? We should. But maybe out of 5 days of eating, I should eat 2 times and cook. Teach your children to cook too. Entertainment every other day. Your children are going everywhere. You can cut this and say, oh, this is what we are working on for 6 minutes. Guess what? Children just want to have a good time. It's not every time they want to go out. Put a movie, pretend everybody, cover your blanket and make home popcorn. And you can cut down that excessive movie night. Find a way, find some way. You cannot say, I want to pay my debt down and believe in God. Believe in God. God is believing in you. God is believing you. You believe in God. God is believing you to cut down on some excessive spending. You may not be able to cut down on everything, but there might be one area where you want to make sure that you cut down. And you might want to ask yourself, honest question, or ask God, where do I need to stop? Oh God, show me my money leak. Oh yes, there are money leaks. Money leaks. Impulse buying. Ice cream. Buy the bowl. It's cheaper instead of everyday Sonic. You see my point? Fantastic. We're having some very powerful comments. Yeah, piggy vest is good. As long as you're cutting the spending, it's not just the saving. You see, we've talked about budget for saving, but cut the spending. People save, but they're not cutting spending. So they will get back to the starting position. Please cut the spending. $10, just $10 is a salad times 5, $50, 60 with tax. It must not be in every wedding. In fact, you can live such a principled life that your showing up is powerful. Add a rule, I don't do ashwebi in the way people do it. This never. And that thing saved me even as a single girl. So rather than ashwebi, the ashwebi is 20,000. I give the couple 10,000. They knew I didn't do and they didn't bother me. So does that mean you shouldn't do? I'm just saying, I don't know what cut the spending means to you. Just cut the spending. That's the point. Okay, I am the host now. Is Lola still here? I wanted her to move on. I think her network has tuned her off. Thank you, Crystal. Then set savings goal. You see, one is two different. One is budget. Even put budget. The way they are saying light, bill, water, vacation, put budget savings. Then set the savings goal. You see what I did? Mine is not much. I just said $1,000. And that time in my life, $1,000 looked like 1 million. But now we are not quite there, but it has made me not be frivolous about spending. Let's keep going. Let's keep going quickly. Then determine your financial priorities. Please take this one seriously. A priority in 2022 may not be a priority in 2024. Oh my God, I can preach this even on a pulpit. Understand and respect seasons. My God, people have done the right thing in a wrong season. People have done the right thing in a wrong way for the wrong reasons. There's an affirmation that my team know. We make this declaration. I do the right thing at the right time, in the right way, with the right people for the right reasons. Please put it down. My team knows this. I do the right thing at the right time, in the right way, with the right people for the right reasons. I can't hear you say it. I need you to say it. In fact, I need you to scream. So put it in capital letter. I do the right thing in the right time, for the right reasons, with the right people. Do you know that having something prioritized could have saved many people like me? God told me invest in 2018. So I knew I was saving for investment. But I didn't go back and say to God, what should I invest in? So it was the right time for the investment because I'd had to invest for 8 months and I saved a lot of money. I now carry the money. You see, the right thing at the right time, for the right reasons, I got that, but with the right person, no. I went and got into a business with the wrong person who didn't know about the business and took an $80,000 debt that I finally, business debt that I finally paid off. We didn't sign a memorandum of understanding, and I didn't put it on my business name. So that means I was bound to pay that debt. Now, if I put it on the business name or limited liability company, then the risk is not on me. What would have happened? During the pandemic, I could have filed for business loss. It would have, the business could have taken the hit, but in my, I've done the right thing, right? So it's very important to set priorities, and financial priorities are season-based. What is your priority for now? Anything outside of that priority, don't do it. I do the right thing at the right time, with the right people, for the right reasons. Yes. This is the most important, one of the most important things you will hear. Debt to income ratio. I'm good. We are making money. We are rich. Show me your DTI. DTI is that leveler. What is the DTI? Debt to income ratio. And you can apply it anywhere you go. I'm going to rush this quickly, but this, I learned this, and this is a lifesaver. Your debt to income ratio is the monthly debt you pay compared to your monthly income. What you are giving out versus what is coming in. So if you're like, oh, I work in Schlumberger, I earn $20,000 a month, but your family spending is 32, you are poor. Or rather, you're not poor, your debt to income ratio is lopsided. So if the quality of your life and the totality of your spending on a monthly basis far outweighs the aggregate, the sum total of your income, that means you have an imbalanced debt to income ratio, and that in itself is dangerous. So how can you currently know your debt to income ratio? It's what they look at when you apply. Look at when you apply for mortgage, auto loans, or loans. The lenders want to see if they can give you more debt. They want to see how much of your income is going towards the current debt obligation. That's why someone will be like, I don't understand. Oh, wow, my credit score is 720. I'm an angel. I earn a lot of money. Well, sir, you also live in a $1 million house with a swimming pool, and your mortgage is you earn $10,000 a month, but your mortgage is $5,000, and your kids are in every golf club, and you're driving the cars, your monthly car payment, and by the time we put all the bills, so you're earning well, but you're spending a lot. So the other guy, Jose, who is not educated, but he is just a lawnmower, but Jose is making 5,000 less and spending 10,000 less. So Jose is earning from his business income 3,000, but he lives in this little place in Splendora where he did not pay mortgage because he is a handyman. He fixed up a little house with his friends, so he has no debt. He has a house that he only pays house net. And guess what? He also does not, his vehicle is a business vehicle that generates income. So even though you have better life, better whatever, Jose's debt to income ratio is higher than yours. If you got it, tell me you got it. If you got it, please tell me you got it. You have to get it. That's why I want to challenge your definition of big man. This one is a big man. Okay. Okay. He's a big man. In whose that's why I'm challenging you. Adjust your definition of big man. And you should not be angry when people can't help you. You don't know their DTI. And Patience said it, that entitlement energy. He's working in this thing. Look at the car he's driving. You don't know his bills. His bills are more than their spending. Show me your DTI, then we can agree if you're a big woman or thick madam. That's why you cannot judge, according to the Bible, says, out of the seeing of the ears or the hearing, out of the seeing of the eyes or the hearing of the eye, you have no idea. Little do you know. As they say in Nigeria, speak, little do you know. And that's why you must be careful. So if you are meeting goals and having certain goals, make sure that your DTI, if your DTI is heavy, wait. You will not die if that goal doesn't happen this year. Wait, so that you can even out the DTI a little bit. Do you understand? Check your DTI while you are trusting God for favor. Now let's do a quick exercise before I move into the next thing I want to share. I'm going to wrap it up in about 30 minutes. Stay with me. Your life is about to change. Because God will never bless disorder. God will never consecrate prosperity to haphazard, careless. No. God wants to bless you and make you a resource person. But he has to trust you. God is looking for end-time financial stewards. Who are they here? I am one of them. Are you one of them? Oh, yes. Yes, I see them. All of you, end-time financial stewards. God is looking for warehouses, the Home Depots, the food banks. He said, if I give it to Chioma, the poor will be fed. If I give it to, let's see, Olushola, he's looking, but he needs you to rearrange. The next weight of God's glory is not going to come on a structure that we collapse with the glory. So we don't need to be perfect. We just have to say, God, I want to be a better financial steward. So part of that, let's do a quick calculation. Maybe not, it doesn't have to be perfect, but please move on. So move on, and I'll show you the calculation. This is the calculation. Your debt over your income times 100%. Let me repeat it slowly. Your total monthly debt. Okay, Coach, then this thing is hard. You're telling me. Okay. I think I spend about 80,000 naira every month. Good. That's the first one. Over your income. And I earn, oh wow, I earn 65,000. So that's 80,000 divided by 65,000 times 100%. Please do a quick mark and start putting what you quickly should. Yes, debt over income times 100%. Let me see the brave ones that want to just show. Just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just do. Okay. I earn $5,000 a month. If I put my mortgage, it's close. Okay, but mine is 4,500. Divide it. Now, if your score is more than 40, red lights. If your percentage exceeds 40, you want to watch it. Good. You're on that. You're very close. If it's over 40, then that's it's just like diabetes. It's your ACI. What do they call that thing? So it doesn't mean that you are bad. It's just telling you where you need to get some financial insulin shots. A1C. Thank you. Financial. Okay. That's good. You are borderline, so you can work on it. 65. Harry Rat, I salute you. Arirat. What it simply means is that you've probably had capital expenses, maybe a house, maybe a car, student loans, and you should just watch it so that you don't acquire more loans for now. Simple. So it's like Pat said, it's not an indictment, it's a revelation that you can fix in your financial journey. Thank you. I salute all of you for sharing. You save by searching for free activities, always community resources. There are many free things that you can do that you don't spend money. Did you know that if you're in the United States with a Bank of America account or a Bank of America debit card, your children can visit more than 100 museums, but we don't use it, even me. By the time you visit all the museums in your city, the children are happy. They can actually have a free pass to museum, but we don't. So they have free activities. They have free picnics. Many communities, estates are doing back to school. Leverage on those things so that your children will not feel a sense of disconnect, like they're not getting things. Every community, Fumi Peters is at 33. So go back and do it 38, good. 65, that's fine. So it doesn't matter. I don't even know what my own is, but but I want you to keep that. Let it be like the weight, your weight. When you climb on me, you're like, looks like this holiday I added 20 calories. Let me watch what I'm eating. That's all. It's no judgment, only light. Someone say no judgment, only light. Let's move on quickly. Moving on. We talked about recurring payments. All those things you fix, you pay recurring, you're paying every time. Even when you have canceled the thing, you're still paying. You will find out that 5 years you are paying for something that you should have canceled. That thing is painful. Awesome. So make sure that you address recurring charges. That's why I, if possible, never do this auto. There's a place for it, but make sure if you are going to forget, please pay attention to it. So many money, people leaving money on the table and putting money in trash. Oh, do me go, StreamYard, Allah, Jehovah, it's painful. Then more important, examine the cost of eating out. Who is on this table? Foodies like us. Just examine. It doesn't mean just see. The Bible says God hates an unjust weight. That's why, Lola, was so good. I like the picture you put. You just see if the weight is over tilting, if I'm over, and this is how you should live. I'm not an advocate of balance, and I'm an advocate of harmony. Always make sure that you are within harmony. Please make sure you never stay consistently out of equilibrium. If you are talking too much, get back into harmony. If you are sleeping too much or sleeping too less, get back into harmony. If you find yourself easily irritable, get back into spiritual harmony. Commit to living a harmonized life. You're spending too much. Ask yourself, what am I craving? What's going on in my system? Is there a hormonal imbalance? Get back into harmony, whether it's financial harmony, emotional harmony, especially spiritual harmony. So make sure that the weight is not tilting in any way. So let's keep moving. We've talked about credit. We've talked about savings. We've talked about debt. And we're now talking about sustaining savings, recurring, but also wait before you buy. There's no need to believe all that. Give 1 or 2 days. If you don't die, then you don't need it. And most times you will not die. Many times when I buy things that I love and I'm not sure, I don't wear it, I hang it there. Then if I feel differently after a week, I can't return it. And they're like, so man, why did you return? I changed my mind. Am I not allowed to? It didn't work out today. Yes. Game face on. What is your, was it thoughtful? No, I changed my mind. What was wrong? No, I changed my mind. I realized I don't need it. I can't afford it. I don't want it. Thank you. Everyone will be okay. Wait before you buy, especially with big purchases. If I had waited in 2018 for that investment for 1 month, I was going to Nigeria. So I said, let me just set up this stock investment so that by the time I'm coming back from Nigeria from my speaking engagement, I would have, if I had waited to come back from that speaking engagement, which lasted 21 days in Nigeria, I spoke in 3 places. By the time I came back, the company had signed on to the partnership, already had insurance issues. I would have missed that loss. Wait. That's why I said, wait. Again, I say, wait. I changed my mind. So let's keep going. How many of you are finding light? How many of you, this is enlightening? Now, this is the best part. In fact, I threaten my team that if I don't see XYZ amount of people, I won't see this one. Please, I beg you, this one, you cannot read it in any book. This one is straight, oven fresh from heaven. Don't miss it. This is the sage's law of financial principles. Please. This one will, oh my God, I want to see the energy. The energy has to be high. Crystal, tell them how we do. This one will save you. Oh my goodness. This one will save you. Wow. This one, the one I taught you is Better Money Habits. You can read it in many places. And the resource, I'm going to share the resource, is from my company, Bank of America. BetterMoneyHabits.com. I built on my experience, but it's free. Share it with your children. But this one, you cannot read it anywhere. This is God. This is deliverance that God used for me and a lot of people. Number 1, the sage law, governing laws that can change your life, your finance, is the law of the tithe. Before you opt out or switch off, calm down. I need you to calm down. Tell your neighbor, calm down. Tell your neighbor, calm down. Don't, please, I don't want to be religious mindset. And religious is not, I don't want you to say, oh my God, not to bury. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Be committed to learn, relearn or unlearn. You're about to unlearn something. This is not church. It's not 10%. If you are part of the Freeze Club, it's not my business. What you do with your 10% is your business. I happen to be a tither because I'm convinced about tithing. For me, it's a revelation, personal ordinance. And please be bold enough to have your own personal spiritual ordinances. Oh, yes. The Bible says not all things are expedient. Some things are lawful, not expedient. Some of us cannot get away with some things. Someone say, then you don't drink, you don't smoke. Is it a spiritual decision? Maybe, but not. Told them, what do you need? I'm already high. It's a joke in my office. You don't drink, you don't smoke. I can't. I have an addictive personality. I'm addicted to purpose. You see, I can stay 5 hours on a Sunday and teach a class that you didn't pay me for. And compel. You see, I'm already at sea. I told them, if I put whiskey on top of, I'm already high. Know yourself to thy own self be true. So allow yourself to have certain ordinances. I don't make decisions when I'm stressed. Ask my team. Sometimes I remove myself. I'm unavailable so I can rest. Everybody can be walking in and I'll be walking out if I hear God say walk out. Have some ordinances for yourself and don't apologize for it. That was an aside. That was an aside. But what I want you to say, calm down. Remove any mental block. You know what I wanted to share with you? This is not the law of tithing. As you know it, pay 10%. This is the law of the tithe. The tithe was a principle in the Bible, and the original word is the first of 10. It's not 10%, it's the first of 10. Let me give you an example of the first of 10. I wake up in the morning, the first of my 10 is my 2 hours, 40 minutes. So the quality of my, oh my goodness, somebody needs to get this. I come to my relationship. The relationship that are destiny-driven relationship, maybe out of a crowd of 20 are 3, and those are the 3 are my first of 10. I come to my money. The things that earn me income are the first of my 10. I come to my clients. The recurring clients who pay for my services are my first of 10. Find the first of your 10th. That's the tithe. The word means first of 10. So the law of the tithe, not the tithing, is that you give utmost priority to a sanctified minority. You can never be wealthy outside of this. Some of us major on minor and invest in the minors. Some of us spread ourselves too thin instead of conserving our strength and energy for the destiny things that produce and deliver and reward us for our value. The law of the tithe is a call for realignment of your time, your treasure, and your talent. Oh my goodness. To make sure that your assignment is in alignment with your life. And that is also a principle even in finance. The financial principle is that there are things you must pay for first. Food, light, utility. Food, utility. You don't go and pay for, example, hair or a long-term thing that you don't need every day. Then you now don't pay for food. The first of the tithe is an alignment back into your assignment. Don't tell me you are broke when you bought something you don't need in May and you didn't buy food for May. My goodness. When we were busy arguing, is he eating our money? The church is eating our money. Everybody, we missed the power and the principle of it. The tithe started in the agrarian culture in the Bible. That's where this framework is drawn from. When they harvested their product, they didn't go and say, hey, see yam, oh, cook the yam. No, They wait, they had restraint. I want to eat this yam, but hold on. See corn or cook on. Say, wait. We cannot cook any corn, cook any yam until we sort out the first. So you know what they did? They will look at all the yams and remove the seed yams. Hey, Father, please deliver us and give us the keys to wealth. They will remove the yams that will guarantee that after today, they will have yam tomorrow. They didn't eat. So they removed the first of the 10, the best, not the leftovers. Not kashimawo, let's be seen. No. They removed the first and made it seed. Because if they consume their harvest without a principle for recurring harvest, they will not have harvest. Someone said, a seed meets a need. Yes. But the sage says, a seed guarantees you don't have a need. When you eat your seed, there's no harvest. What is your seed? What is your most productive time? Some of us give our families our leftover. Take me as I am. Take me as I am. Some of us give our purpose our leftover. You've done everything for everyone except your dreams. That's what I called it the impoverishment of the volunteer. I won a volunteer award from the United States White House. I aggregated over 300 hours of volunteering, but best believe that was not all I did last year. This is volunteering. I'm going to log this time. This year alone, I've volunteered 360 hours. Every Monday to Friday on Clubhouse, I lead a team of women. We intercede and we teach and we do wellness every single day, sometimes 1 hour. That's my, I could have done it alone. That's volunteer. But best believe that if that's all I do, then I'm missing up the tithe. I take care of myself. I travel. And this is not an endorsement. I want you to go to church. There's a place for church and mosque. Please go. But today, you know why I didn't go to church? Because yesterday I spent 6 hours at a religious event where I received what I need for this week. So today I give myself permission since I'm thinking to rest, and I watched online. That is the sanctified minority priority. You listen to your body. Your most productive time, you deploy it to your most rewarding assignment. Some of us are morning people. Some of us are night people. So if you're a night person, that's when you should invest. The lower of the tithe is utmost. You see the word. Priority to a sanctified minority. That is in parallel with the Pareto principle, that everywhere you go, 20% of the people are doing 80% of the work. So find your 20% and give them 80% of your concentration. Let me repeat it again. Find your 20% and pour into them. You know, this class was for my 20%. Why? Because the answer to any gap or challenge or opportunity is wisdom. So knowing that women, that my team, they kept having opportunities for finance and the money, I said, oh, we are going to bring the wisdom. So it was supposed to be 20 of them. And I said, no, the other said, open it to everybody. What am I doing? Giving 80% investment to 20% of the people. That's most priority to sanctified minority. This is a financial principle, a life principle that will save you. And how do you know? Check this week. You know what you have given utmost priority to. Oh yes, there was a season in my life. I said, oh no, I know I'm a communicator, but these calls are many. And many of those calls were not... Sorry. Many of those calls are not bringing money. This call is calling, this call is out calling. It's too much. No. Pick your brain. I said, no, but don't pick my brain again. That's why I designed courses, designed workbooks for the questions everybody is asking me. It's there. Seller, put the link if you feel like. Share. For every time someone says, should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go? I turned it into a course. I can't tell you if you stay or live an abusive marriage, but I turned it into a workbook. By the time you go through the workbook, you will know. Someone say, but how can I find purpose? We have a purpose workbook. Someone say, hey, what about emotional? We have emotional wellness workbook. Someone say, but I don't know how to say no. I'm struggling with boundaries. We have a boundaries workbook. I took the common questions every time you see a group of 2 or 3 women, those 10 questions, and turned it into workbook. We have those resources. They're on Selah. I want to get better. We have resources on communication. You know why? Because I want to be able to have those repetitive things that are not utmost priority, not to give them sanctified minority. If a workbook will deliver, you have put it, the wisdom there, go get it. If an affirmation, then I record it. Do you see the point? Please, the law of the tide, ask yourself, am I living from priority or living from what's left? If you treat your money like that, what should I allocate resources? What should I restrain until I've removed the first and the best? This will guarantee that you don't struggle. The law of the tithe. I'm an advocate for tithing because tithing is not just an ordinance, it's a discipline. If you can give the first 10 to God, you will probably treat the next 90 better. It's a restraint. But this is not even about tithing. This is about sanctified minority. It's about priority. What you do with the first 2 hours of your life. What you do with the best energy of your day. Let's go to the next one. The law of gleaning. Sorry about the typo. Forgive us. We tried. The law of gleaning simply says you intentionally create an overflow for those around you. See, if your only dream is me, myself, my fisherman, my boat, my dog, you're not rich, you're not wealthy. The law of gleaning was from a story in the Bible, in the book of Ruth. We got carried away with the romance. How many of you like the Cinderella story of Boaz? We got carried away with the story and we missed the principle. You know the storyline, right? Naomi, Elimelech left Bethlehem, went to a strange land. He died. 2 sons died and left 3 widows. Naomi, Ruth, and Orpah. And they came at a crossroad, knowing that it was a wrong Japa. They Japad when they were not supposed to Japa, because Elimelech left Bethlehem, the land of bread, and went to Moab and fell into a recession and lost 3 lives. So these women said, you know what? This has not worked for us, so we will go. So Naomi said, I will return back to the place where I should never have left. And Orpah decided to leave. And Ruth said, don't leave me. Don't treat me not to leave me. Not to follow, turn away. Where you go, I will go. You know the story? And we use it for wedding vows. Then she goes into this field that Naomi introduces her. And she goes to the field and she was very hardworking and catches the eye of the owner of the field, the kinsman redeemer Boaz. Someone put Boaz. Now, here is the thing. And it's a wrong Jakbao. You leave the Bible said he left the land of bread, went somewhere and met death. There are things that are worse than daily bread. Remember, we said that make sure that your search for daily bread will not make you lose the bread of life. Somebody needed to hear that. Let your search for daily bread not take you out of the presence of the bread of life. Oh, yes, that was a wrong mood. The fact that other people have left, and it's not even about your placement is important in finance, but I digress. So let's go back. So put Boaz. Boaz heard about this hardworking woman with great work ethic and said, who is she? They said, this woman is a hustler. She comes in the morning, she does this, she doesn't. And Boaz did something. Boaz studied her and saw how much she worked. And you know what Boaz did? That's where this framework came from. Boaz said, I want you to do something. We have people called the harvesters. When you people are harvesting, you pick all the grain and tie it into a bundle. She's not a harvester, but I want you to create opportunity for her. Please don't miss this. Losing the bundle, make it loose so that when you are moving, the harvest will be falling, so she can have scoop surplus to pick up. My father worked with Unilever for years. And after that, he got a job with Decasia and he managed this cocoa what was that, cocoa, right? Cocoa, yeah, cocoa, cacao. Manage the cocoa, and when they put the bags and bags of cocoa, when they are loading it on the trucks, his workers, some of the cocoa beans will fall and they will sweep it and throw away. But my father looked at the cocoa beans and said, he said, let's start to bag the falling cocoa beans. So he bagged it and they called it the scoop surplus. So he will bag it, and after he bagged it, after months, those scoop surplus will produce bags. He will sell it and share it to the workers. So the scoop surplus that fell, but this time it did not fall accidentally. It fell by an instruction that Boaz said, losing the bail, so that we will give opportunity for work, so that this widow and foreigner can see harvest. The law of gleaning means you intentionally create an overflow so that you pour into those that I need around you. The law of the gleaning simply means, rather than hiring a stranger, you have this 20-year-old boy who is creating issues for his parents. Hire him to be your driver. So you are creating an overflow. You are loosening the bail so that someone can find their daily bread. The law of gleaning is this: asking me and Patience to invest in you. This is our overflow. We can do another class and you will pay us for our expertise. But today we just felt, you know what, in the remaining 6 of this month, 5 months of this month, let's create an overflow so someone can pick a straw. And guess what? Dignifying the overflow. So you can throw the straw at them. But when you losing the bail, they find the wheat and it honors them. So you are not just throwing a handout at them, you are creating opportunities for people around you in your circle to be blessed. The law of the gleaning. And you know why this is powerful and why Boaz was such a standard and he was called the kinsman redeemer? Because in the Levirate law, orphans, widows were part of those you needed to take care of. So it was double opportunity that Ruth was both a widow and a foreigner. Orphans, widows, and foreigners. I want to ask you, if your well-dimensioned, if your money is not going to some sort of cause, C-A-U-S-E, philanthropy. And don't say philanthropy is not a word for only $10 and Bill Gates. Philanthropy simply means that you take your little light and shine. Philanthropy simply means that you have 3 dresses and a colleague of yours needs a dress. Philanthropy simply means that you give opportunity. I'm always giving out clothes all the time, and there are many new clothes. You see a young girl that is not dressing well. There was someone I looked at, I said, please, I don't want to see you with this kind of hairstyle again. We are trusting God for you to be married. This hair is a turn off. And I recommended where to get a wig, maybe paid half. Or you see someone who is not dressing well and you honor them with some dress. If you don't have an overflow to people around you, you're not activating an enduring financial principle. Now, the balance is not to be a martyr archetype where you are now underflow, but is to intentionally losing the bail so that an orphan can go to school. Losing the bail so that the old man who mows the lawn, you can mow the lawn, but there's this elderly retired sheriff who dropped his car 10 years ago and he's been mowing my lawn. I can mow lawn, my husband can mow lawn, but that's losing the bail. So tell someone, losing the bail today. Losing the bail so that a root can pick up harvest, can have a job. Losing the bail. Give somebody an opportunity. This principle is so important. That's why the rich always get richer. Every wealthy person I know has losing the bail. That's why they get their tax exempt. They get tax breaks. Many of them donate billions of money. They are losing the bail. Maybe you're losing the bail is $1,000 a month. Maybe you're losing the bail is a missionary that they're already suffering. And all you can do is to make sure that good food is not their problem. Maybe losing the bail. These are financial principles that if you learn all the better money habits and debt and don't operate them, you can limit the windfall that you're supposed to enter. No wonder Boaz was not only considered one of the most influential voices and men in his time, he honored the levirate law by loosening the bail. That's the law of gleaning. Let me take it one again time. It's not accident, intentionally creating an overflow, just like what Crystal is doing. Crystal is doing something called Kids Fluence, Kids Influence, where she teaches Bible study to kids. We have a young revivalist where we are gearing to do a back to school revival conference. If you are not loosening the bail, your purpose is limited. Kids Fluence says. Let's go to the third law. And I like this one. The third law is the law of the crumbs. I wanted to bring bread. If I go downstairs, my kids won't let me come back upstairs. So that if I hit it, you see. The law of the crumb states that what is in the bread is in the crumb. Oh, someone needs to put that down. What is in the bread is in the crumb. Bale, like a bale of wheat. The law of the crumbs says that what is in the bread is in the crumbs. Many of us want bread. We want a loaf of bread. We want a bakery, but we despise the crumbs. Show me how you treat your crumbs. I will show you how you will treat your bread. Show me what you do with the crumbs, and I will predict what you will do with the bread. If you don't have honor for crumbs, you will not have honor for bread. Many of us are waiting for a breakthrough, but we cannot be good stewards for $1. If I see how you treat 1,000 naira, it is exactly how you treat 1 million. So this mindset of is if I had it, when I have money, you will see. You know those people, those guys. You are not. You can't. You enjoy me when I have money, but the one you just had, you can buy a can of soda, but you have not bought it. Don't worry. When I have money, you enjoy me. No, sir. No, ma. Then we won't enjoy you, because what is in the crumb is in the bread. No, you don't understand. When I make it, sir, no, it's not true. I'm looking at you in this season of your life with the resources you have, with the time you have, and you are not exhibiting stewardship. You will not change. You cannot become an alligator when you didn't first honor yourself as a lizard. The law of the crumb simply states that what is in the crumb is in the bread. So therefore, you must honor the crumbs even while you're waiting for the bread. And this framework comes from Jesus' interaction with a woman called the Syrophoenician woman. The Bible says that Jesus came and this woman said, oh, my daughter is sick. She's possessed. Come and heal her. And Jesus said, no, we don't heal people that are out of the covenant. At that time, if you're a foreigner, there was a protocol. He said, I can't give you. Jesus said to them, I can't give you what was meant for the children. Healing is the children's bread. You are not, I can't give it to you. And rather than be offended, the woman stayed there and said, hey, someone else would have said, Jesus called me a dog. He said, I cannot give me what is to the children, that cannot give crumbs to the dog. The woman went and calculated this thing. And that's where I drew this principle from. It's a financial. The woman said, wait. Jesus said, I'm out of the covenant. He cannot give me. The healing is for children, and he cannot give the breads to children. That he cannot give bread is for children. He cannot give bread to people outside the covenant, because he cannot give bread to dogs, those outside of the covenant. Say, am I a dog? Say, wait, but wait a minute. Even if you cannot give me bread, but you give dogs eat crumbs. And the man said, I don't even need bread. You know why? What is in the bread is in the crumb. The man said, wait. At least the dogs get crumbs. When a dog is on the table of his master, the master will be throwing bones and crumbs. He said, Jesus, you don't understand. You don't even need to give me bread. The meat that is in the bread is in the crumb. The butter that is in the crumb is in the bread. The sugar that is in the crumb in the bread. This was the analysis. The man said, I don't need the bread. The crumb is enough. By honoring the tiny, by stewarding the little, By being faithful in little, this woman opened herself up to be the first Gentile that was healed in the Bible. Now, this is a life and finance principle, and I'll seal it with a quick story. Many years ago, Ali Baba, not Ali Baba, the comedian, Ali Baba, the Jack Ma, the owner of Ali Baba, when he started his business, he hired a secretary, I think Tong Wen Hong, what that was her name, hired a secretary, a very faithful secretary, who he will show up every day like Lola, do her work, then gave her a stock, Alibaba stock exchange. I think the stock, maybe, please go research it, but like, let me just say maybe something, nothing too much, maybe 2% or 3% or 20, some little amount. And just said, keep this as your stock. You see, we are going so. We said, when we go public, you will see the value. The woman waited year 1, year 2 for 14 years. And the story has it that every day, every year, she will come to Alibaba. Are we going public this? I said, no. She will keep that as small stock. Are we going? She stayed for 14 years. And in the 14 or 15 year, Alibaba, Jack Ma of Alibaba, they went public. And when they went public with Alibaba, because of the demand and how well they had done, that little stock that was given to a secretary at that time, at the time they went public, it became worth over $200,000 and moved that secretary to an influential position in the company where her network ran into millions of dollars. You know why? Because the secretary was presented crumbs, not the bread. The crumb is a broken down bread with a promise. Please write it down. The crumb is a broken down bread with a promise. The crumb is a broken down bread with a prospect. The crumb is a broken down bread that has purpose on it. She did not honor the crumb that Alibaba gave her in the form of stocks and shares. When Jack Ma went public, she became a vice president, the first female vice president of Alibaba. How many things have we despised? How have we treated money, opportunities, because we didn't see that the ingredient in the crumb is the same ingredient in the bread? Crystal told us a story about listening to a Microsoft gentleman who was one of the pioneers, one of the 10 founders of Microsoft. And he says every day he lives with regret because even though he's doing well, but nothing compared to how he could have been. He's just almost in just never ending. He said at that time, when Microsoft was still evolving, he got a job offer as an engineer that gave him $15,000 more that year, and he went. So he didn't go because he didn't see a future in Microsoft. He went because $15,000 extra seemed like a bit. He didn't honor the fact that they were building something. And does that mean you stay in everything and wait forever on the shores of potential? No, that's not the conversation. The conversation is to change your mindset on how you treat the crumb. You know, many of us will never honor something when it's small. We will never give people opportunity on our platforms until they are big. And that is dangerous. We will never call out the greatness in people. We will never allow people to, we will not equip available people until those available people become dependable. We're always waiting for finished product. So when we see crumbs, we discountenance it. We don't know that the crumb has the same raw material. Yes. Okay, Paul Allen, $40 billion mistake. My goodness, $40 billion mistake. Oh, my jet. It's not village people. When you are your own village people, I want you to start honoring the crumbs. Your cleaners, the $1. The fourth one is the law of listen to glisten. This one is simple. This law simply means you become what you continually behold. You don't understand, I've been struggling. So what have you done about your struggle? Your struggle is an opportunity for light. Every struggle reveals a knowledge gap. Dr. Mike Murdoch said pain is evidence that there's ignorance. Pain is evidence that you don't know better, or you are not doing better, or you are not applying better. When you know better, you do better. So let's stop rehearsing the problem. Listen to glisten means that what you listen to continually, you become. So I want to encourage you. The area of your life that with your greatest pain point, I want you to answer 2 questions. What investment of wisdom have you put in that area? Who is excelling in that area that you are learning from? How have you married the two? The investment in that area and the person excelling, and collapse it in such a way. What are you doing about that area? It's like radiation. I survived cancer twice, to the glory of God, 2017, 2022. Part of the treatment is something called radiation. I know it's a funny example, but it's also appropriate. Radiation simply means that they expose an affected area to concentrated radioactive light. Let me repeat it. The affected area is exposed to concentrated radioactive light. That's how the affected area of your life should be exposed to consecrated wisdom for that area. So don't tell me I'm always having sickness if you have not studied everything you should about healing. Don't tell me I'm struggling with anger if you have not studied everything you should about anger management, about temperance. Look for the opposite of your struggle and soak it in. That's the place of Bible therapy. Look for the opposite of your struggle and invest in it. So maybe you don't need a new dress. You're having time management issue. All the books on time management. As a 20-year-old, I consumed Joyce Meyer's book because in my early 20s, I had the tendency to depressive thoughts. I had this unstable emotional issue. So every day for 15 years, I prayed one prayer, that God will strengthen me by his spirit in my inner man. Now they call me strong woman. You see the journey. And I consumed everything Joyce Meyer. At that time, that was the only person I knew that spoke to emotional issues, overcoming approval addiction. Every book she had, I had a budget for books at Latana. I will buy shoes, but I'll buy a book. I will not go anywhere else. I may not spend any money, but you see those books. And the more I filled my soul with light, the light I needed in that area. When I struggled with boundaries, I searched everything on the boundaries. When I struggled with fear, I searched everything on courage and fear. If you are not listening to the area of your greatest opportunity challenge, then you will not listen. So the more you listen or behold, the more you begin to look like what you listen. This is a financial principle. How do you know? That's why the rich move with the rich. It's not surprised that Bill Gates' best friend is Warren Buffett. They are listening to glisten. Check your 5 closest friends, and if all of you are the same, go and hire new friends. You cannot all be suffering the same thing. I refuse. You can't. All of you cannot be suffering. Wow, economy hard. 5 of you, and that's your closest network. That's your sanctified minority. Economy hard. It's recession now. Wow. We are in recession. 5 of you. Then who will help? It should be like crab. As you're putting, the other one will put you there. It's called crabology. All of you are the same level of exposure, the same level of light expansion. Listen. Did you know? I want to ask a question, and I got this from Vusi Tembukwari. I want to ask a quick question. Where do they advertise Rolls Royce? Do you know where Rolls Royce is advertised? And we're beginning to round up. Does anyone know where Rolls Royce is advertised? Don't leave me by myself. Do you know where Rolls Royce is at? Where people buy private jets? Thank you. Hey, thank you, Shamina. Shamina just got the answer. They don't advertise this. You will never see it in any car gazette. You don't see Rolls Royce advert anywhere. They advertise in the place where people buy private jets. Private jet. No, they don't do commercial like that. They go to the company of people who buy private jet shows, private jet commercials. They go to personal gadgets, the type they send to those top income. So you don't see any come and buy car for sale. You know why? Because of the listen to glisten. They are a kind of people that buy Rolls Royce, and those type of people do not go to dealership. So they go to private showings. They go to the audience that are listening, those people, because they know Rolls Royce is not a car. It's a lifestyle statement. They don't buy Rolls Royce because they can't buy Honda. It's a lifestyle, because having a Rolls Royce, you tap into certain places. You now begin to go to places where the people that drive Rolls Royce go. Some people will even go aspire and get it because they cannot go into certain places without that level of in-buy or buy-in. So getting certain things is a buy-in. Listen, when you hang around people, you begin to act like them. Doubt me is in the Bible. Saul was not a prophet. He had never prophesied once. He was just a king. One guy was just helping his... And the Bible said he went with the prophets and he started to prophesy. It was confusing. So people said, wait, is Saul also a prophet? Is Fumilayo also a millionaire, a billionaire? Because you become what you consistently behold. That's the power of affirmations. You become what you consistently behold. You will never catch me hanging around too often in people who talk too much lack. People who consistently describe the situation. Not where we can evaluate, but something in me we snap and calibrate it. That's why I want to give you an opportunity. You don't have to be part of the recession. But how? I said I opt out. I'm not tied to recession. God provides for me. I'm tied. The economy of God is my source. God is my source and resource. And when you do that, something happens to your mind. So you don't limit your greatest breakthrough to paycheck. You can rent friends. Yes, I agree, Crystal. They created a class. There are places, that's why people do certain clubs, because there are certain places you enter, communities where you see light. The law of listen to glisten states that you become what you consistently. That's why Oprah and Gail are best friends. Bill and Warren Buffett, Otedola and Dangote. Check your best friend and just tell the person, we need to rearrange things. Let's get a savior. Both of us are in need of this. Let's get a savior. When we get a savior, so tying it all together as I quickly recap, we end. What did you hear today? That 65% of Americans don't save. Your credit worthiness is as powerful as your net worthiness. The savings don't just happen. That there's a method to the madness that is credit, so that credit is your slave and you're not a master to you. And that is okay to begin to pay off your debts, one bite-sized at a time. You also heard that the simplest way to make sure that your credit score is always good is not utilize more than 40%, not miss any payments, pay more than the minimum, and check your statement today. Go under, and whatever you see, debt consolidates. You also heard that you should teach your children to save. Savings is a life survival skill. Savings, cooking, changing time, those are survival skills. It's not luxury. Savings cannot happen anyhow. You have to set budgets for saving. Intentionally create savings. Let the savings align with your financial priorities. And also cut down on spending. Look at your lifestyle. Record your expenses. Do the needful. You know why? Because wealth creation, expansion, extension must be leveraged by wealth conservation. What else did you hear? You also heard that money does not buy everything, but there are many struggles you have today that it should not even be prayed about, that money should fix. You heard the joke about the rich man who was praying and a poor man was praying. And the rich one was saying, God, I need this 1 million grant to be approved. And the poor man was like, hey, recharge card, 1,000, recharge card, 1,000. The guy said, shh, you are interrupting my prayer. Take 5,000, go. His money your money can answer your prayers. Money can answer some of your prayers. It's not everything money can fix, but money can fix many things. The choice of where to live, the neighborhood to live, the school to go, sometimes money can answer that. So you heard that you should begin to make sure that your priorities align with your debt to income ratio, and go back and do it with your husband. If your debt to income ratio is in excess over 70, you have nothing to prove. You made the goals, you cannot make the goal. You don't have to make the goal and say, but I already said it, I must do it. No, your DTI is saying otherwise. But more importantly, you've also heard that you must believe for more. And even if you don't see yourself, you still have a wounded money mindset, that you should ask God for mercy and healing and say, God, you can trust me. My generation needs a financial savior. I can be a steward. And we shared the 4 sages principles of life and finance. Number 1, the law of the tithe. Give a sanctified minority your utmost priority, both in your time, talent, and your treasure. Number 2, the law of the crumbs. What is in the crumbs is in the bread. Please honor little things. Don't joke with leftover. Don't be wasteful. The way I talk to my children, sometimes you think I'm in Nigeria. I forbid them from using more than 2 buckets of water. I say, which body are you washing? I don't have to be like that, but I'm teaching them stewardship, to honor Earth's freest resources, to honor water. Just because it's not available in abundance doesn't mean we should waste it. So when I noticed that they couldn't finish 1 ice cream scoop, I started saying, no, I will buy 1. And so it's no, they are rich in other things. I took them to Singapore last year and paid it off. So just because you bridle in an area does not mean you can overflow in one area. I'm teaching them to honor the Earth's most available resources. Don't just leave the TV to be playing just because. I'm teaching them not to be wasteful. Teach your children to honor crumbs, but most especially, be the person who honors crumbs. And we also did the law of gleaning. Please, I don't know how you've been stretched, but there might be 1 or 2 persons there who don't help anybody. Because you're like, me and my family. I understand. Please prioritize your family. Charity begins at home. But make sure that you intentionally create an overflow for single mothers, widows, orphans, because you can. Some of you can afford to pay 1 more person's school fees in your life, and it will not shake your bank balance. You know if you are here, I'm talking to you. And finally, listen. What you consistently behold, you become. And that brings us to the end of this incredible, phenomenal financial principles and better money habits masterclass with certified money coach, Patience Kariu, and integrative coach, trainer, communications trainer, business solutions expert, Eden Ionwoka. Let's go.
Let's drop those emojis. Drop your emojis. Let's see how you're feeling. How is this treating you? Is your body hot yet? Did you have to get up and put on the AC? Did you have to start fanning yourself? Drop those emojis. Even as we start collating our questions. Yes, I'm seeing, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it yet. Let's drop your emojis. And then you can drop, those things you have gleaned from today. What have you gleaned from today? Even as you collate your questions, we're going to take just 2 or 3 questions in respect of your time and in respect of our coach's time. It's not easy to bring 2 powerhouses into the same Zoom.
Crystal, can you stop sharing the screen, please?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Coach. And this Zoom has not turned to fire. It needs a certain level of calming down, because our two coaches today were fire for fire. So drop your emojis. Thank you very much. Knowing better and doing better. That's what Shamina said. If you leave this place and you live the same way, then you have not come. If you've come, you have to do better. Yes, so fire. Oh, somebody bring the water. Thank you so much, Coach Eden. The sage herself, you have been, anytime I sit with you, my book is full. Ordinary to have conversation with Coach on the phone, and I will carry book and pen, because nuggets must drop. And you know, when she talked about listening to glisten, that's what I've been doing. I just need I just need to sit down and just sit at her feet and just listen. And now I'm glistening. You know, see as I dey shine. Oh, well, so before we take our questions, I think we have queued up. Omola, have we queued up our affirmations? Yes. Let's take our affirmations quickly.
Section 5. Finance. Affirmations for wealth creation and money. A healthy respect for money influences how we steward it. Money is a tool that can make dreams come true, yet some of us are trivial in our interaction with it. There are lots of issues surrounding money. In fact, money issues rank high as a reason for broken marriages, lost businesses, lack of trust, and even some suicides. In a recent Merrill Edge report, statistics show that more millennials are choosing finance over romance. Therefore, we must pay attention to managing and multiplying money. How do you do that? You start by understanding the principle of little faithfulness. If you do not handle $10 well, chances are you will waste $100. Start paying attention to money leaks, those subtle areas where funds are diverted consistently. You need to pay special attention because wealth creation is impossible without wealth conservation. Over time, I have been paying attention to some common money leaks. Here are a few tips. Make payments on time. Late fees, overdrafts, and penalties for missed bills add up substantially, and before you know it, they take a toll on your purse. It is also very important to understand the power of credit. If you live in an environment where credit is key, please build or grow your credit. You'll never know when you need it. And credit worthiness is the new net worthiness. Another point is to balance your debt to income ratio, DTI. If your lifestyle is far exceeding your income, then you may be a missed paycheck away from being homeless. You can be excellent without being extravagant. Do you have any idea how many products you pay for but no longer have a need for? Constantly review monthly subscriptions, auto renewals, and trial memberships. If you do this from time to time, you will be amazed at how much money you have been leaving on the table. You do not need new things. Honestly, you don't. You may want it, but do you really need it? When you start understanding the emotional triggers that fuel your buying addiction, then you can work on curtailing it. Reach out to your creditors and enter a payment plan. Silence on the part of debtors is a major reason for ruined credit, bills going to collection, and ruined financial reputation. You want to be careful about that. Be open to having multiple streams of income. I often say that in the Garden of Eden, there were 4 streams feeding it. We can all do with better researched, legitimate income streams. Save. No matter how little, as long as you are consistent. A week in February is usually America Saves Week, where families are encouraged to increase their savings goal. Do you know that 67% of Americans do not have $1,000 saved? That is some scary statistics right there, and probably a lot scarier for other countries if we could take a look at their data. Make savings a culture to avoid heartbreaking stories. It will be prudent to have periodic talks with a financial advisor or expert. If you visit a doctor for regular checkups, then your finances need these checkups too. Get life insurance and save your family the burden of financial heartache if something were to happen to you. Most importantly, regardless of your personal beliefs, respect the spiritual laws governing money. There are certain principles that cannot be violated without repercussions. Principles like seed time and harvest time, benevolence, and honoring God in your financial decisions should not be overlooked. I think without the box. My mind is a vast field of opportunities. I create wealth, and the ideas I birth is an answer to the complexities of the world around me. I am a money magnet because money answers to me. I'm a good steward of it, and in my hand it multiplies. I am single-minded in my desire to succeed. I have good success, and my success liberates those called to me. I'm a co-creator endowed with witty inventions. My mind captures unseen treasures and translates them into groundbreaking ideas. I become attractive to my helpers, and compassion continually flows in my direction. My desires are governed by destiny. I am focused on posterity and build an inheritance. I permit myself to be rich. I understand the science of money, and money serves me diligently. I wash my feet in butter, and I wear the fragrance of grace like an irresistible perfume. When eyes see me, they give witness, and when the ears hear of me, they submit. Job chapter 29, verse 11. I have integrity. I consider economic trends, and with that I make sound investments. I am a leader. I lead myself first and make great ideals which others can follow and emulate. The streams of multiple income flow in my direction. My hands are profitable. I am too preoccupied with ancestral blessings to be mortified by ancestral curses. I am blessed with eclectic creativity, which cannot be contained by one genre. I am multi-talented and multi-fruitful, producing 100-fold on all sides. I boldly declare that I am debt-free. I am rich in human capital, and I have access to the right connections and resources. I love my job, and I'm rewarded significantly for my career contributions. I am recognized for excellence. I do outstanding work. I am comfortable with being outside my comfort zone.
Thank you so much, Omolola. That was a refreshing break. If you were declaring with us, let us know in the comment section which affirmation spoke to you the most. Even as we go
So
on
we're
to
going
the
to take
second
one
part.
more so that people can just begin the healing. Like this is part of the healing therapy. So we're going to take one more. Then after that, we will just close the room. And please declare it. And those affirmations are available in English, obviously, in French, and they are from the book of affirmations is available in Spanish, English, and French. The audio of affirmations are also available. So just grab it and keep repeating them so that you start to do some inner work. Please go ahead, Lola.
We can't hear Omolola.
and focused on affirmations have been sectioned into 5 groups with 20 affirmations each, speaking to different needs of the modern day woman. Section 1, Redemptive, speaks to spirituality and intuitive building. For all the times I believed a lie, for all the times I embraced unfounded fears, for the times I glorified darkness above the power of God and focused on demonology over theology, for times my warfare was greater than my worship and my excuses more than my brilliance, for hyped prayer points founded on superstitions and pain points triggered by uninformed oppositions, for countless calls made to those undeserving of it, for tears shed over relationships that chose to not see my value, for the times I believed I was unworthy of true love, and the seasons I generously gave unrequited love, for times when I feared adversity and times when I did not embrace enough opportunity, for times wasted in bitterness and unforgiveness over hurtful situations, for the times when I shrunk back when I should have flown high. This is me taking my power back and reclaiming my life. I operate from the place of my covenant privilege. I am a carrier of God. I attract signs and wonders. I move towards the goodness predestined for me. Honor is my identity. Gratitude is my default setting. And I am generous with mercy. I honor my God in the daily decisions I take. I live. My spirit is fearless. My mind is priceless. And my joy is endless. Nothing dies in my hands. I shed the old and bring forth new life, the God kind of life. I walk boldly in the fullness of the finished work on Calvary. My breaking forth is come. I understand the times, so I reclaim lost time. I am discerning of seasons, therefore I am precise. I am prophetic, and my words are health to my soul. I dwell in liberty and set myself free from the limitations of my foundation. What was meant to erase me raises me. I set my eyes on treasures above. My harvest is sure. When my sins cry out, mercy responds and redeems me. These 100 affirmations.
All
And
right.
it's a wrap. Crystal, do your thing. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Coach, can we take I think we have just one question. And I think it's for you. That's the only question I see. If you have posted a question, please repost. We're only taking 2 questions because we're respecting your time. We know it's past midnight in some parts of the world. So Virginia asked, because I did debt relief, my credit went down, but I felt like I had no choice and it will come back up as payments kick in. My take is to lean into the opposite of what is happening to me and learn to improve job to higher income. Do you have any thoughts about this strategy?
I think you made I think you made the right financial call for now. I have a different relationship with credit, even though I'm in financial services. People are usually afraid of credit. The way people do credit, I describe credit to my clients this way. Credit is like a swim. I want to swim, but I don't want to dive into the water. Now, what kind of swimming are we doing? I say to them that credit is like, I want to swim. I really need to swim. I need to work out. But first, I must go down. So that dive, but you don't stay down because you're not drowning. The goal is not to drown. So there is a dive, and hopefully you come up. Then there's a dive. So credit is a journey. And I believe that in debt consolidation, you made the right decision. And sometimes you lose points to gain points. Sometimes you lose a battle to win the war. So in this season, you had to consolidate debt, and your credit took a hit. So that simply means, like you said, you now start working into building or rebuilding again. Just see that all of life is a journey. Sometimes you make decisions. It's just like the decision to cut off some sugar so to be healthier. All those decisions are not cast in stone. That's why I loved what P said. Those archetypes are not cast in stone. It is fluid, meaning that when you know better, act better, grow, you can have like a flexibility to move. So just because your credit went down does not mean your credit will stay down. Hopefully you learn the wisdom that you need to sustain the debt consolidation you've made, so that the debt consolidation is like a tool and not a regular occurrence. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you very much, Coach. I think that did answer. I'm sure Virginia is thankful for that. Just keep going. You're on the right path. Keep going.
And Virginia, you can also take advantage of our resource. Go to bettermoneyhabits.com, and you can we have a partnership with Khan Academy, KHAN. They're one of the top financial literacy. So Bank of America has a fusion partnership with them. So sometimes we build on a foundation that never existed. So some of us just came into knowledge here and there. We never did groundwork. So just consider this, that you're rebuilding, so that you can start building well. Because if the structure of the business is wrong, you pull down the building and start building again, right? So just do some evacuation of the wrong things you may not have known, or just lay out wisdom. But www.bettermoneyhabits will help. If you need to do credit repair, there are some credit repair specialists. I'm not one of them, but I'm just saying to you that it's fine. Just give yourself 6 months and keep building. Okay.
Thank you so much, Coach. Keep building and keep paying. And if you want to go, you talked about making more money. You could look into multiple streams of income. It was mentioned, Coach mentioned it about the Garden of Eden being fed by 4 streams. So you could look into following up on some creative side of you and turning it into a business. That's another way.
That one is so powerful. It might be another class where we do the healing, but the truth of the matter is the good news. I don't want to say the bad news is that I like saying things in the affirmatives rather than saying it in the negative. So I could say the bad news is that your income may never meet your expenses. That's not what I want to say. I want to say the good news is that you can leverage on some additional level of income building or wealth creation so that you can exceed your DTI. For instance, my coaching is an available resource, even though I'm working. So some of us need that leverage. That's true. I like that leverage. So some of us, you cannot be trapped in one thing. As wonderful as one thing is, why don't you ask God to give you a solution to a need in your community? And normally income is usually the reward for the value you bring. So it won't happen overnight, right? It may not happen overnight, but again, the solution I provide in coaching gives me additional leverage, right? I am a frequent traveler. If I had to pay for all my expense paid trips, I would not go as many places, but my inner team know that 90% of my travels are all expense paid, but I don't like the word all expense. I prefer the God expense paid. So for the past 3 years, every year I'm going to 5 continents, and only one of them do I pay for. The rest I'm invited to speak. So imagine if I didn't speak. Imagine if I didn't start by encouraging people, talking to people, then say, there's something here, there's a gift. Imagine if I did just say, it's a gift. And I say, gift will gift itself. But no, I went and got certified professionally as a coach, beginning with John Maxwell, layers and layers of certification, even up to 2 weeks ago. I finished a course in mediation. So I'm considered a certified mediation diplomat. Always growing because of the ever evolving needs. Now, the reward is that we would do this even if we didn't have a pay. But sometimes in bringing solution, after some time, you get rewarded. So right now, not bragging, just to give you perspective, I went to Toronto this year. I went to Aberdeen for keynote. They sponsored my vacation. Of course, I did the work I planned, but as far as I'm concerned, they gave me 2 vacations. And September, you can join us. We're able to go to Kenya. I'm speaking at the Shine conference hosted by Pastor Mildred. That's all expense paid. They even reached out to me and asked me, what am I traveling for? That's another vacation. Then in end of this August, we are going to Nigeria, August 31. You're all invited. Join the community so we can meet at some point. Ebony's place, I'm speaking at the conference. They are Nigeria that I want to visit. They are paying for me to go. So it's it's homecoming for me. Then in October, I'm speaking at Doha. Also a 10-day retreat with Betty Rabanko. The point I'm making is, I don't know what your gift is, but sometimes you must go and say to God, I have many gifts. Some have 5 talents, use it. Some have 3 talents, use it. If you have 1, use it. Whatever the amount is, the good news is that you may need to, in a sense, not monetize your gift, but maximize your gift first for that gift to attract wealth. Because the way it is, you may need additional leverage, right? So that you are always ahead of the curve. I hope you got this. This is very important, but it's an entire class. So I believe that you got the answers you need.
Thank you so much, Coach. That is above and beyond. So we are going to move on. I don't see any other questions. And I'll just take a few announcements. You want that book? That Woman and a Half book? That book has helped my own life, because every morning, that is what I declare. That is why you see this Amazon in front of you. And the book is available on Amazon. Can you imagine? So you can find it on Amazon. You can find it on Seller. It's available in audio in the seller.co audio version is in the comments. And then you can find it in the French. There's a French version. There's a Spanish version. I'm not going to try to pronounce those words. So my secret will not leak here. And then if you need to get direct access to Coach Eden, that's the link. Her link tree is there. And then you can follow Coach Eden on Instagram. You can join the Woman and a Half network on Telegram. Our meetings are not just once a year. We have the commit coming up in September. You want to be a part of that? Join us on the Telegram community. Everything will be announced there. And then you want to join the next financial principle waitlist, the healing class we've been talking about, and the next level, how to take the next steps. The link is there in the chat as well. And then if you want to register for the 90 days communication mastermind, you want to communicate like a pro, we call it CLAP, communicate like a pro. Keys to being an unforgettable speaker. The link is there in the chat. And then to join our daily expression, just join the clubhouse and then join a Woman and a Half Telegram community. You get daily reminders. And if you follow us daily, not follow us, you join us daily to see God's face on expression, your life will never remain the same, because you change your prayer altar, it moves forward and it moves upward. That's what we do. We just pray the mind of Christ every day. Thank you very much. It's such a pleasure to have been your host for the evening. Thank you very, very much, Miss Patience. I love to call people Miss, so it doesn't mean it doesn't signify your marital status. So thank you very much, ma'am. It was indeed a pleasure hosting you today. Thank you very much to the sage herself for giving of your time, of your person, of your substance, of your knowledge, for giving yourselves to us today. May the good Lord continue to replenish you. Let's drop our thank yous in the comment section, even as we begin to, log out. And thank you, Omolola. Hey, how can I not thank Omolola? Omolola, our amazing host in the back, for all the songs, making sure everything is on cue. I salute you. Thank you very much. And this is me signing out. I didn't even know I was not on camera. Can you imagine? I didn't know my camera went off. Oh, my camera is showing itself. Okay, we are here. So, Omolola, take it away. Peace out. See you next time.